Oh, pretty nice. I'm muted the whole time and I'm talking to myself, I guess. Hello everyone. Let me start again. Okay, so I was just saying that we are back to New World and we're gonna play some New World today. We're gonna chill a bit because we basically finished few of the different Elden Ring endings. So for the moment, it's not like I don't like the game, of course. Like I said many times, the game is amazing, but for the moment, I just want to take a short break, let's say, from Elden Ring and stop repeating the same process of killing the same bosses and things like this. We're gonna be into New World for a bit. It's not because there is something new or something super exciting, but just the fact that we have a lot of things to prepare for the October release of the consoles. I'm planning on releasing several videos which are, of course, related to different game mechanics, the way how different things work, a lot of things technically. There will be a lot of things. And yeah, and also we still have some active players, to be fair. I mean, it's not that many as whatever the time you pick from the past of the game. Any time would be more populated than what we have now. But usually we get to play some wars, maybe not daily, but let's say a few wars per week are getting played in between the companies. And as you can see, also the map is kind of mixed out. The purples even managed to get 2 territories, which they didn't really have yesterday, but maybe they got lucky, I don't know. But yeah, indeed, what I wanted to say is that today there was a small patch, and seems like the patch, I'm not really sure, but I think it broke again the rotation of invasions, wars and things like this, because as you can see on the map, or probably you don't see it really well, there is not a single invasion for tonight. There is not a single war for tonight. There is actually just one, it's this one, but it's gonna be not an actual war, this is gonna be a meme one. So those guys, they don't really have the arsenal of players to even full a roster of 50 people. So this is definitely not gonna be a war. And yeah, there is 3 other races in Edengrove, Everfall and Brimstone. Of course, this potentially means that tomorrow there will be 3 wars. But for today there is not much of an action. But regardless, like I said, we're gonna chill a bit, we're gonna have some fun, we're gonna talk about the potentials of what can happen in New World, and also we can maybe discuss a little bit Throne and Liberty, even though we are playing New World, because in Throne and Liberty they made like a huge change. A few additions are coming to the game, most likely on release. They will be, implemented in the European and NA servers as well, because for the moment the game is only played in Korea. So yeah, quite a lot of things to discuss, quite a lot of things to expect, and only the time will tell, of course. We will see what will be the end results. So let me just finish this song here so I can increase my territory standing gain, and probably, actually, you know what I can do? I can probably go and kill some portals tonight. Maybe I can just, go around, kill some portals. Anyway, we are having difficulties with finishing one of the achievements, with getting 5,000, I think was the maximum, yeah. 5,000 corrupted portals. I think I have 3.5 or something like this, maybe close to 3.6. So that's quite a lot. That's a lot of portals to be still killed. And also we can go on few chest runs maybe, or I really don't know. Like, for the last couple of weeks I was basically logging in just for wars, like not really putting too much pressure on myself to play something else. I did, I think, few OPRs, but they were just, during the stream. As usually I'm not really playing OPRs. And yeah, I didn't really go to any chest runs or anything else apart from wars and the few OPRs, so might be a good thing to go and check what's up, like to see if the server is still alive and kicking. Maybe there is there should be, I mean, always there is people who are running those chest runs, so probably would be nice. So let's see. There are some people recruiting for Door to Riven, but I don't think that's like an elite area. That's like here, and it's kind of a, you know, it's like an elite area, but it only has 3 chests. So it's not really something that you can go and like farm the whole place. Like once you get it, then that's it. Okay, so let me just change my stuff. Let's take some... Or probably I can go like this. I'm just preparing my gear now so we can go and farm some Portos. I would of course want to have a bit higher intelligence here. Probably you don't see it on the bottom left, but yeah, I'm just aiming to get more intelligence than constitution, of course, so I can have higher damage. But I think that should be it, and I can also take a potion or 2 for corrupted damage, so I can of course increase my damage against corrupted enemies, so I would be able to kill them faster. If they are level 35 Portos, that's happening like pretty quickly, but the problem is that the way that we are going to kill them, there might be some that are higher level, like those are 35 but those are 55 for example. Those here are level 45 and so on. So let's start with those which are the smaller ones, or probably we can also start from the like 35 and then move up. And as soon as we get like some spam in the chat for either Genesis or I don't know, Murkgard or something like this, I will try to go there, chill a bit, get some, you know, get some stuff. I don't know, maybe I will get lucky, you never know. On those chest runs, sometimes you might get lucky, so it would be nice. If you have how much? 300? I can do it for free. Like, this is one of the tips that I'm also giving in one of the videos. It's like how to make money. And I'm saying there that usually if you are the only one for like for the whole server that can create something, like in terms of crafting, you should be able to charge a fee, and this way you can, you know, gain some money off of it. But the problem is when the whole server is already packed up and maxed out all of their trade skills, it's kind of dumb to ask people to give you a fee for crafting when like technically maybe not everyone, but like most of the people can do this by themselves. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, I think it's a bit too much. Like crafting something that literally takes you 1 second, if you have the materials from the person, of course. And asking for a fee, it's kind of a ridiculous thing. This is how steal your mats. Yeah, I steal a lot of mats. Sure thing, bro. This is how they steal your mats. So if somebody pays you, you are not stealing their mats then. It's a guarantee. Like if you trade someone your materials and wait for them to craft, you're gonna get scammed. But if you trade your materials and you pay for that craft, you would not get scammed, because giving extra money is guaranteeing that he will be a gentleman and not steal anything from you. That totally makes sense, by the way. Like completely. How I didn't think about that before. God damn. Holy shit. Like why would a person like me, for example, with so many hours into the game and technically having everything, scam someone for literally, I don't know, like 500 gold? I really don't see the reason, and I probably will never will. But yeah, some people just think that scam is on the horizon. You better watch out. As you can see, those level 30 portals are pretty easy to kill. Wait, why am I... Let me just see if my weapon is with corrupted No, it's not. Where is the corruption potion, man? It doesn't show up. Maybe because I didn't use it? Yeah, indeed, I didn't use it. That's why. Okay, now we have a little bit of extra damage. How much is it? It's 13% more damage. It's not that much, but it's also not a small amount. I mean, that's technically the tier 4, tier 5 being the highest, so it's a decent increase. Let me just volume up a little bit. I don't know if you hear the surrounding, but sometimes the music is pretty chill and it's really nice to listen to the background, especially when you are not in combat. It's pretty nice. It's relaxing. And there is still nobody spamming for dungeon. I mean, not for dungeons, but like for chest runs. There we have it. Lazarus M3. Maybe I can go in an M3 as well. Actually, I don't remember when was the last time when I did M3. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's been a while. Maybe we can give it a try. I'm not really sure if I'm like good for an M3 though, because I didn't play it from such a long time that probably I forgot how it's done. And I will be like dying like a bot. And those mobs are kind of hard. I mean, not so hard, but like they take quite a lot of my HP by the time I kill them. Or maybe it's more about the like the corruption passive around it. Okay, 2 more. Yeah, probably it's the corruption passive. Whoa. Those guys are scary. Holy. Yeah, the corruption passive is actually taking quite a lot of damage. Like every time this debuff, which says corruption resistance, here reaches 0, I'm losing 2100 HP. And this when you are fighting technically a higher level corrupted portal, this resistance is getting lost like quite fast. So the higher the portal is, and this is not even the highest, like this is level 50, there is level 60 and level 65. 65 being the highest in Murkart. The higher the portal is, the faster this decrease. And then it's like a bit of an issue, especially for the big portals. That's why I'm like not doing the big portals when it comes to like level 50. It's not like I don't have the damage for the mobs or anything, but it will just take me so much time that probably I will lose my HP from the passive corruption, and yeah, it's not ideal for sure. But okay. Let me actually check what are the not the corrupted, but the mutated dungeons this week. They changed yesterday. So we have Savage Divide. Oh, Savage Divide is actually in Void. This is really easy then. Then we have Barnacles as Nature, and then we have Lazarus in Ice. That's pretty good. I think I might go actually for Savage Divide if I find the party, because I'm still missing the achievement. It's not really an achievement, but it's like a title for top 5 there. What PvP track level did you unlock the blunderbuss? Oh, that's a hard question. It was a while then. I mean, I'm basically playing mainly PvP, even though I played like everything. And technically when they released the artifacts, I got it quite quick. I mean, It's not like I got it quite quick on the first track or anything, but I mean, I was playing PvP actively, so eventually I got it like relatively quickly. Let's say 20 tracks or something like this at the very best. But at that time also the drop rate was a bit different. I know that nowadays quite a lot of people are not happy with the drop rates, especially for the PvP artifacts. And yeah, I really cannot tell how bad is it, because technically I have all of the ones that are from the PvP track. Even though, like, actually, the funniest thing is when I got like Serenity probably 8 times in a row, but I never slotted a Greatsword in terms of like actually playing it. I have it on level 20, but like I never played it in a PvP scenario, let's say. So I got like Serenity probably 8 times, and each of the times I was skipping it. Like literally I was just skipping the track and going next and not taking it. And at the end I was like, okay, let's just take it, because I'm kind of pissed to see it here. But yeah, it was just different. I don't know, like many people are saying that it's horrible right now with how hard you can obtain them. But if it's really that bad, probably they should look at, you know, changing. Either they have to change the drop rates, or they have to make like a way, like let's say a pity system, where, for example, if you farm like, I don't know, 100 PvP tracks, then you get like a choice to pick like a specific artifact. I don't know, something like this. Or let's say 50 PvP tracks, I don't know. But there should be something. Like having a chance of, I don't know exactly how much it was, but having a chance of like around 2 to 5% each 10 tracks. I think it was something like this. That's just, it's ludicrous. I mean, that's just stupid. But yeah, the good part is that not all of the artifacts are like, how to say, probably they are best in slot, but there is also like a really good items or either weapons or armors that can be used still to replace them. Like for example, if you are looking at Aang, for example, as an amulet, and you are not really getting it from the PvP track, it's not that big of an issue just to go for Endless Thirst, for example, and to kind of replace the Aang. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's still something. And I'm giving the example with Endless Thirst because Endless Thirst can be obtained by PvE, and Ankh is from PvP. Now, of course, if you look at Serenity, which is the Greatsword artifact from the PvP, I don't think there is another Greatsword artifact that can replace it, because this is the only one. But probably you can craft yourself something. I don't know. But yeah, it's a bit miserable, to be fair. Definitely it is. But I think that the other ones, like for example Featherweight, Nature's Wrath, the Deep Freeze for mages specifically, it's really good because I'm also like playing a mage. Scorpio for the healer killers. Finisher, Podcaster, like all of those are amazingly good artifacts, and they are all obtained by PvE, so that's a good thing. Some of the PvP tracks are just unfortunate, but it's part of the process, I guess. Okay. Is there even anyone doing Savage Divide? I don't even think that we will get even people, to be fair. If I was on Nissa, I kind of know like few people there that are still like playing the game. Like in PvE, I mean. But here, I really don't know. Is the Vengeance a good artifact? Was the Vengeance the Void Gauntlet? Or no, that was the Life Taker. The Vengeance was the Life Staff, right? if I have to be honest, I don't think it's a good artifact. Like, I really don't think it's a good one. The main issue with it is that it's super niche build. Like, technically, when you play a healer, you either want to heal like your teammates, or you at least want to like make the enemy chase you. Like that's your point. Like you bait the people, let's say. But when you play Vengeance, your bonus that you are getting is getting more damage. So it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you want damage when you want to heal? I really don't understand. And I see a lot of people, and this actually I think it's like super bad. A lot of people think that this is, for example, Diablo, and they can go as Paladin build and they can do damage and heal themselves at the same time in medium gear with, let's say, Life Staff and Flail. And they don't realize that neither they do enough damage to kill someone who is like capable of playing, of course, neither they will be able to help on a teammate who actually needs support by healing him. Like the heals of a medium player are really insignificant. Like, those are not heals, those are just, you know, I don't know, it's like a tier 2 potion. Imagine it like this, something like that. It's really weak. Or this is just my opinion, of course. If you play it on a, let's say, in arena, and you have, let's say, a team with you, then it's probably gonna be good for a while. But even if you go without Vengeance and you just pick, I don't know, like Spear or a Great Axe, it's still gonna be the same. Like, the effect will be the same. So yeah, that's what I think about Vengeance. It's nothing special. Like, some of the artifacts have, I don't know how to even say it. Like, they have some kind of idea, but the idea is not really finished, you know? Like, it's a good idea that you make an artifact, which is usually for a healing class, but instead it's doing damage. But you need to give it a little bit more. Like, giving someone, especially a healer, just Empower, it means nothing. Like, it literally means nothing. Like, this Empower doesn't do anything. Like, having a bit of Empower, even if it's 50% Empower, it's still nothing. Like, the damage is not enough. There is no damaging spells. You cannot rely on, like, doing auto attacks. So, if you want to make such thing, there has to be something that will do a significant damage, even though it can increase, let's say, a cooldown, or it will be on a high cooldown or something like this, and then it might be useful. But just to give it Empower, I really don't understand what's the point. Like, why? If I want Empower, I can just take Void Gauntlet, I will use Oblivion under myself, and there you go. You already have the Empower. And also the same can be said about few other artifacts as well. Like, they are, like, the idea is kind of there, but the execution is really poor. Like, for example, I think there was those immovable boots or something like this. I think it was boots, yeah, it's like heavy boots where you cannot be moved. Like, this is so crazy to me. I even tested it on PTR when they first released it. I don't know, it doesn't do anything. Like, literally, you are still getting, for example, a spear. If he throws a javelin, he would not pull you or push you back, but you will still fall on the ground. So what's the point? Like, I'm still getting moved. I'm technically moving, you know? The idea is to not be moved by anything and just getting stunned, and that's it. But I guess it doesn't work. Vengeance for PvE is probably good. I mean, even for PvE, I don't think it's good. And I will tell you why. Usually the people in PvE, they go with, like, the best healers, or at least in my opinion, are playing with Life Staff and Void Gauntlet. The Void Gauntlet is mainly for damage and for assistance to the party in terms of Empower, in terms of Plague. If you have like perfect gear, you would have like Putrefying Scream and so on. So you will be mainly on your like Void Gauntlet, because your rotation technically contains drop a Sacred, put a... what was the... I think it was called Orb of Protection or something like this. I never played healer, but I kinda know the spells. So you would drop those two spells so they can heal consistently while you are doing something else. You will change to Void Gauntlet, and then from there on you will just continuously apply attacks on the enemy. If you do the same with your Life Staff, you are kinda losing your potential of the Void Gauntlet. Like the really good healers, they don't even play with that much like focus, for example. When I was playing in like the first seasons, I think season 1 and a little bit from season 2. Just a second. When I was playing the first 2 seasons in PvE to achieve like top 5 in everything, the healers at that time, and I still believe that they play like this, were playing with 50 constitution, 250 focus, and everything else was in intelligence. So literally they are like a semi DPS. They do 60% of the DPS of people running 5 con. And it's wild, of course. Like it's really risky, but you are not a healer, you are like semi DPS just holding a Life Staff. People want to play M3 with PvP gear. Did they use the Void Blade? Yes. Like technically, back in the days, I think now it's a bit different because you have the blade at all times. I think it's like a passive. But back in the days, you would use like Void Blade, Scream, and Oblivion basically. So you drop. Tank goes in, you drop a Sacred, you put the Mending Protection or Orb of Protection, or what is it? Let me actually see so I'm not talking random stuff. This one, Orb of Protection or Beacon, I don't know, like those funky stuff, you know? AoE basically. I think it's actually both of them. So you drop that shit, you give them heals, you change to Void, you start up with the Scream, because at this time probably one of the DPS already threw his graph, collected all the mobs in one place. You scream them all, you disease them all if there is like, for example, some healing effects and stuff, if you are in a nature mutation or whatever. You scream them all, you put your blade and you start smacking. Oh, and of course Oblivion, because you need the Empower. And that was it. Like it was wild. And I'm pretty sure that it's technically the same. Probably now, let me actually see, like the blade. I think it was just, they changed it that it remains forever, right? I think it just remains forever, or something like that. They say the stacks of Vengeance work on both weapons. I mean, that's cool, but the thing is, let me actually see where is Vengeance. I don't have all the perks in order to see it, but when you successfully heal, gain 1% damage for 10 seconds, stacks up to 20 times. Even if it works on both weapons, if the perks on the weapon itself are not good, because I don't know which perks they are, actually I will check it really quickly for you. Maybe you know, but still, Vengeance. So, let's see. Oh no, wait, what did I choose? I don't want the recipe, You have Keen Beacon, Refreshing Move, and Enchanted. Like, you probably can choose Blessed, I think. Yeah, actually it might be. It might be good indeed. If you can choose Blessed as last perk, I think it's gonna be okay. Because you still get like Keen Beacon, Refreshing Move. I'm not sure if you get Enchanted or just the site is showing it like this. But if you can get Keen Beacon, Refreshing Move and Blessed, then you are kind of fine. Yes, you are losing the Fortified Sacred Ground perk on the weapon. But if your party is kind of good, let's say, the tank should be able to survive it even without those like 20 or how many percentage 45 difference it will have. So probably it should be still usable, I would say. But I don't think it's that much of a difference, because like I said, you do 60% of the damage from a normal DPS, and you can still reach like a good amount of Empower, because if you have a Honing Stone, which you should have, it's 7%. Then if you have a Sword and Shield in the party, which you should have, it's another 10% from the leadership, so that's like 17%. Then you have Oblivion, which gives you 15%, that's already 32. And then I'm not really sure if you get self-empower from the Void Gauntlet itself, but probably there is some kind of like empowers, I would say. Let me just really quickly go through the passives. Gain Empower when casting abilities within 5 meters of an enemy, increasing damage by 10% for 5 times. Stacks up to 3 times. So technically the first hit that you do on the clump of mobs, just by this one, you're gonna get like 30%. And you are already capped. As soon as you hit your first like clump of mobs, even if it's a single target, if you hit him 3 times, you are already up on a cap. And I don't know, like that's why I don't think the Vengeance, because Vengeance gives you Empower. That's the cool effect, right? Like this is the passive effect of Vengeance. It gives you Empower. But it's not something that you can say, wow, like I need that. I don't think so. I would even say that it's better maybe to go with Life Taker as a VG in PvE. Where is it? I kind of lost it. I think it's in this storage probably. Like, is it here? Yeah, there it is. So if you go with Life Taker and a normal Life Staff, like a normal crafted variation or maybe named one, whatever. But this is your ranged attacks, inflict, disintegrate and so on. So yeah, it's not ideal as well. But you can still use it though. Like it's not horrible. Like it's just not something that can drastically increase your performance or anything like this. Nope. This guy is sad and alone like me. All my PvE players are either like out of the game or they are in different servers, and this guy also is sharing the same thing like me. Oh, look at him. My people moved to Nissa. You should go there too, brother. Yeah, like I said, if I go to Nissa, probably I will find like a group to play with, but I really cannot transfer my character. I have too much stuff, and I also have a character there as well, so it's... I don't really like to have 2 characters on the same server. For me, this doesn't really make too much sense. I mean, you can still, you know, do some funky stuff with it, but I just don't want to, and it's kind of pointless. I moved one out 1 month ago. Well, unlucky. Okay. Some of those portals got revived or respawned or whatever I should call it. Let's go clean some of them. Is there a spam for any of the runs? Actually, let's check recruitment. Not really. Why people are not doing any like runs? Probably they are doing them only during the day. Like Sometimes when I log in during the day and, you know, I'm doing my normal stuff, like doing some achievements, I see so many people spamming for different runs, like being that in WoW or I don't know, like Helio, whatever, like all of them. Now when it's evening time, I guess they already completed everything and nobody's running nothing. That's a bit wild and unfortunate at the same time. And there is no more corrupted portals, or at least not on my level, that I can technically kill without any issues. Actually, those here are level 45. Maybe I can do them. Yeah, I can do that. Let's kill this one as well, and then we can teleport. But yeah, a lot of things, guys, a lot of things. There are so many things in the game, and at the same time there is nothing to be done. This is the most controversial feeling in this game. Like, thinking about the content and thinking about the different things that you can actually do, like, there is actually so many things. And at the same time, when you think about what are the rewards from those things, it's almost close to zero. Like, for example, now if I go on an M3 run, what I'm gonna get? Like, my gear is technically the best gear in the game for my class. And whatever I get as a drop, it would never be even close. And even if it's close, I would not be able to either sell it or use it or whatever. And I think that's what the problem is. If I have to compare it, for example, with Throne and Liberty, because it's like a kind of a new MMO that is coming soon. It's already been like in a beta status. Basically, there the system is completely different. You basically get items, but then you have to upgrade those items. And I think that's the way to do it, because you make it a bit grindy, but at least the people have something to do in your game. And they can feel the progression. Here, once you get your item, it's over. Can you make money out of M3s? I wouldn't say so. I mean, you can make money from technically everything. The question is how much you can make. Because before, when there was still shards, when the gear score was 625, and you needed shards to upgrade, people were selling their runs. Like, they would, for example, start the run, they would almost finish the last boss, and then they will sell the spot, or maybe even 2, or even sometimes up to 3 spots, to people who want to buy the shards. And a purchase of shards from M10 at that point, because M10 is now the current M3, the purchase of like a gold run was basically valued as, like, depends on the server, but between 15 and 25,000 gold. Now, you have 35 runs for a week. Imagine selling all 35 runs for 20 gold, let's say on average. That's like 700,000. Now you cannot make even 100,000 if you make those 35 runs, I can guarantee you this. That Mochaka linked me gear with 2-piece enchanted and PvP perk in gear. I mean, why not? So yeah, you can make, but it is just a completely different system. Like, they changed so many things that it's not really... Like, now, for example, now, if you want to gear up your character, right? A lot of people still don't understand that, and they still believe that it's super hard to level up. I even had a short, like, discussion with people in Reddit about it. Because there were some guys saying, yeah, you cannot really get your max gear or whatever, it will take you months. And I'm like, bro, what are you smoking? Like, literally, I can make a character, and I actually made a character. I leveled it up from 0 to 65 in 3 days, but actually, if I push myself, I can do it in 2 days. And then from there on, to get like the correct gear and to be ready for wars, I literally need probably a week. Now, of course, if you are a bit more casual, let's say 2 to 3 weeks, and you are pretty much good to go, as long as you know what you have to build, right? But Before it was not like this. Before every item was costing like too much money. Like for example, this item here, if this was, let's say, season 1, before all the changes, let's just assume that this is 600 gear score and this is the maximum, not 700. This item would have cost you around 500,000 gold just on its own, like just this one, you know? It would be a half cap gold or the previous cap gold. Now this item can be crafted and technically costs the amount that is used for the crafting. It will be, I don't know, like 60,000, something like this. Yo, I have almost 9k hours too. Nice. Nice one, nice one. So it really is just the feeling, you know, like before people were making money and everything was expensive, but at least you make something. Now you barely make money, but also the things are cheap. Like cheaper in comparison to what it once was. So it's really up to the debate. But in my personal opinion, it's better to have something to farm. It's better to have something to kind of to go towards to, instead of getting into the game, getting your gear in, let's say, a month, in worst case scenario, 1 month, and then you don't have anything to do because you have your gear. Your only option is to go for another build. But the people that are playing consistently, they have enough resources to make not one but like 20 builds, you know? And it's like there is nothing to do. I'm not that pro in PvP. I mean, if you don't put too much time in it, it's pretty normal. Not everyone is a pro, don't worry. Nobody was born pro. So yeah, it's really, I don't know. I think that just the system, it's not okay. Like, if you think about content, like this is also one of the things that people don't really realize. The game has so much content, but just because this content is not worth it in terms of rewards, in terms of drops, in terms of necessity to actually do it, it doesn't really feel like it, you know? Like, why would you do it? And then if you don't do it, you don't even consider it as content. If you go now and ask, for example, people why they don't like the content in New World, most of them, they will tell you, yeah, we have the same dungeons, we have the same OPR map, right? And then you think about it and you're like, wait a second, we have a raid which is 10 people, we have a small raid, it's not really a raid, but like 20 people, the worm, you have the open world kind of events which are they repeating every time, but we are not talking about the rewards, of course. You have open world PvP, you have PvE arenas, and you can have like many other things just if you change like few things, like if you just tweak them, you know? And you can end up with so much content, but then why people are not happy? Because let's take the last event, for example, the Spriggan event. The Spriggan event comes, you go there, you get this item here, which is like from 3 months, from 3 years ago, is just the up into like gear score. Technically the perks and everything is the same. And you get 3 other blue items. Like, bro, I'm 700 gear score beast out and you are giving me blue items. Like, what should I do with this? It's just a salvage for me. If I go in a dungeon, it's just a salvage. If I go in the warm place, it's just salvage. If I go here, it's again salvage. So the rewards are just not there, man. Like, you don't feel it as a content. I used to play New World, but now I have been playing ESO. Is New World dead right now? Pretty much, yeah. I mean, currently it's pretty much dead. People expect to get a bit of life around the middle of October because there will be a release to consoles. So basically the people that will be playing consoles will relive, let's say, the glory early days of New World. But if they don't make huge improvements to the end game, and this is exactly what I'm talking about in terms of content, to make it worth it to be played, I think even the console players will drop it in, let's say, half a year after the release. I have all the time to do something, but 80% of the players don't play all the content in the game. They don't play, they don't try. I mean, it depends. Like, even if you try, like, what to try? I've been in, like, I technically did everything. Like, no joke, I did quite literally everything in this game. And of course, most of the things I did them many times. But for example, like this trial here. No, not this one. This one, the ice one. Like, we literally went there the first day after the release, after the patch, with some friends. We did it first try with a single wipe. Like, we just wiped once, and it was actually on purpose because there is like 10 people inside, but we lost like 5 of them. And just because it was going too slow, we said, okay, let's just die. We know the mechanics already because we saw them in the process. And then we just started it again and we completed it. The whole thing, like literally the whole thing from the very beginning up until the end, as a first try, took us 13 minutes. Without watching any guides, without watching anything before that, because it was also available in PTR. So this kind of content coming after several months is never gonna please the audience. Because if you think about it, if there is something new, right? And it doesn't even reward you with good gear, because the gear there, like I said, it's blue, purple, whatever, you're just gonna salvage it. You're gonna take your artifact, you will never go again. So if it's just a gear that I will salvage, and at the same time even the difficulty level is not there, why I would go there? Like, it's literally a walk in the park. Like, nobody wants to do that. It either has to be grindy in terms of mechanics, in terms of difficulty, or make it like, for example, the Korean games. You get a weapon. I will explain you, for example, how it works in Throne and Liberty. Probably not the only game, but just as example, okay? There is other games as well with the same. Imagine that this fire staff, right? You obtain it from a dungeon. Let's say you go to the dungeon, you get it from the last boss. Now you have the staff. Cool. But now this staff can be improved up to plus something. Let's imagine that plus 10 is the maximum, right? So I need to make it plus 10. But how can I make it plus 10? Well, I need specific materials. Let's say that I need 5 different materials. I will give you references from New World. So for example, I need 500 prismatic ingots. I need 500, I don't know, prismatic leather and shit like this. You know, 5 different materials. And now those materials, let's say 2 of them will be able to be crafted. 1 of them will be dropped from a dungeon or a raid that is once or twice per week. The other one will be dropped from, I don't know, like a PvP battle or something like this. Just make it so your content is tied together with each other. It's spread out everywhere, and people will have the need to play all of the content in order to gather their shit, in order to progress and get, you know, higher in their power, higher in their ranks or whatever. And then the people play the game so they can get better. If I just receive it as a gift, like literally I open the PvP track, I see it there, and I pick it, and I have 7 pieces of this, because look at this one. I have, it says always the flint stick, but the perks are different. So I have 1, 2, I have 3, I have 4. Like, what are we doing? Hello? See what I mean? It's just stupid. And it's not so hard to change, but you have to actually realize it. And I don't know why they don't. At last 5 months, 4 games come, so that little happen, little too crazy. I missed so much the old Umbro shard system. Even if no games come at all, nothing will change if this development team doesn't change. I am literally convinced, not at 100 but 200%, that those guys that are running New World from the day 1 up until now, like the developer team of Scott and the others, they are just clueless. I don't know what's their background, I don't know what's their backstory into like game development. I don't know if they develop mobile games or actual games or whatever, but they don't have a clue what MMORPG means and what a system of MMORPG should be. Like there is, like I said, so many games that you can just, you don't need to do it as they did. You just need to see the system and just put that system into your game with your mechanics, with your like PvP or PvE style, with the combat, with the graphics, with everything. Because those are the core things that make New World actually an interesting and enjoyable game. The surroundings, the sound effects, the gathering, the combat, like those are things that you will probably never find in other game. I can assure you. Like you will not find a better combat in any other MMO. You would probably not find a better gathering system in any other MMO. But are you gonna find more interesting content and more entertaining content? Probably any other MMO has that better than the New World. So it's kind of wild. And yeah, there is literally nothing happening. Like nobody is doing anything. Have so much content, what they can make, add it. And what? The new games, you mean? Have so much more content? So they can add more roads? New World. Yeah, but the content is not connected to each other. Like for example, before releasing the latest artifacts, tell me how many people were going to make Zigo Arena or Siren Arena or the pools before the last update of the last 3 artifacts. Like nobody was doing this. Literally. Why would they do it? You just go there, you get a box. In the box there is 3 items that you're gonna salvage. They are not even up to your gear score. Like it's just like one salvaged item is 3 gold. If you salvage 3 of them, it's 9 gold. You take 190 gold for the arena itself. So you get like, let's say 200 gold. And that's it. Like, okay, and what's the point? Like, if I need 200 gold, I would just exit the city, chop 10 trees, and look at this. I can just come here, green, wood, bonk, 5 cents. And I can make the gold faster than you're gonna do the arena. Or I can go with charcoal. Like, it's just stupid. Or sell modes, yeah, indeed. Or this, like there is a lot of different things. But yeah, anyway, oh, there it is, Imp. Let's go, Imp. Let's go. I don't know when was the last time I've been there. Let's see first if I get an invite though. Probably we're gonna be 2 people. So far doesn't really look like more will come, but we'll see. Meanwhile, I can actually maybe run some of the quests in Windsworth. I'm still, like, guys, I'm literally playing the game currently because of this. Like, I'm missing some achievements to actually reach the maximum possible. It's not even possible to hit 100%. I don't know if you know that, but it's not possible. So I'm literally playing just because of this. And I'm just trying to get as much as possible so I can then make a video and ask officially AGS to either remove the quests that cannot be completed or to just complete them for me, because it's just dumb. But we'll see what will turn out. Oh no, somebody killed this one. You will know what's the best perks in PvP. I mean, there is too many good perks. It really depends on your class. It really depends. For Assassin, medium SNS spear. Do you mean like offensive or defensive perks? Because if you are talking about weapons, that would be offensive. If you are talking about armors, that would be defensive. If it's for defensive, the best perk is technically Enchanted Ward. That's probably the best perk that you can ever get. With the only exception, like for Grit Ward, but this is only for the bruisers. And then if you have Enchanted Ward, probably your second best would be Shirking heals, like Shirking Heals. Yeah, Shirking Heals was the name, yeah. And then you would want, for example, Trust or Slash Conditioning, depending on the, like on the enemy. But in most cases, you want to have like a mix, let's say. Freedom not needed. Yeah, you don't need freedom. Freedom is not necessary, especially if you play Assassin, because you have a lot of decks. And even if you have a lot of decks, nobody will keep you that much in stun. Like, Freedom is long gone as a perk. It's not even close to be useful. It's just a trash perk at this point. And also you need your like weapon perks. Like if you play, for example, Spear and Sword, I would say that you need Leaping Strike. Maybe if you want, you can go with like Fortified, what was it, Shield Rush? But I'm not really sure how good is it. I don't see your link, by the way, because it's in a different language. So yeah, like some of the perks are good, some of the perks are not that good. Can you even compete without anti-heal? Yeah, you can. You can burst like a lot of people really quickly, but you need people for that. Like if you play alone, this game is not made to be played alone. Like it's a bit unfortunate. Yeah, your sword is actually really good. Both of them are good. I don't know if they're different. I think it's the same. This one is not good. You don't need keen speed. This one is not good. This one, I would probably go for Plague Strikes instead of Plague Crits on your sword, because your heavy attacks are really quick. But skills membro, I think like if you are aiming to play alone, you have a hard time with any type of like class or character or whatever. Like the game is just made to be played in a group. There are not that many classes that you can play literally alone, and those classes require not only extreme skill level but also like extreme awareness of what is happening, and you still rely a little bit on your team to make some plays. Like let's say that you are an assassin, you cannot just run into 20 people, kill 2 and get out. Like there is no way. You need your team to get the attraction, to get attention, sorry, not attraction. So you can go on the side, pick a target, maybe he will be low, maybe something else and so on. But anti-heal is not 100% needed, but it's good to have it. Like it is just, how to say, it's just a better move to go with a little bit anti-heal instead of one extra damage perk. Like for example, I have this fire staff. This is what I'm using, let's say, when I'm playing in dex fights. Can I open it? Thank you. So this one goes with Keen, Plague Crits and Alacritus Punishment. Maybe you can change the Alacritus Punishment to Vicious, right? But here, for example, it's not worth it to go with like, I don't know, let's say Vicious in the place of the Plague Crits for a bit extra damage. Because this extra damage in the long run will not give you more benefit if the targets are getting healed, and each and every group in PvP is getting healed, either by their own healer, either by someone else, and so on. So it's, yeah, I think it answers the question. That's why I take medium, more survivability. Yeah, I mean that's true. Technically medium has probably the same damage as light. Like even if it sounds ridiculous, when we talk about PvP, medium and light don't have too much of a difference in terms of damage. Like the difference is almost negligible. But the amount of protection that you have in medium is nowhere near to the light. The light is just better for kiting and moving around. That's why people prefer it on some classes. But medium is times better than light. Like literally times better. You send me also a spear. This spear you can change it. This spear is not good, my friend. Like the best spear that you can have. I mean, this is my point, but let me actually see if I have one, because I don't know if I crafted it. Like you can go for this one, for example. This one is really good. I got it from the PvP track. And I was using this one before the nerf of the fortifying perforate, but now it's nerfed, so it's not really that good anymore. But yeah. It really depends. Like, Skewer is a really good perk, but you kinda need the Skewer on your gear. Like, actually, most of the spear players don't even play Skewer. Like, they play perforate, they play cyclone, and they play knockdown. It's just because the spear has so much range that you don't need Skewer for a gap closer. And when you play sword and shield, you already have the jump. So it's not necessarily needed from you to use Skewer at all. Is Tumbler and Aang still OP? Yeah, it is. I mean, it's kind of nerfed, but it's still pretty good. It's a really nice combo. In general, Aang is like extremely nice for all melee classes. And especially if you play Shirking Heals. Like, that's technically your priority. It gives a lot of sustainability, and if you have a good healer, he can also keep up with like nice heals and stuff. So it's pretty much nice. What about Sweep? I mean, Sweep is really good because when you make Sweep... Do I have a spear with me? But I don't have the perks, I mean the skills. So the combo is like this. You make Sweep, but you don't follow up with the hit of it. You make Sweep, then you make a basic attack, and then you make Cyclone. Because when the target is sweeped, technically he cannot stand up before your auto attack and the Cyclone, and he will receive a lot more damage than just by finishing off with the finisher of the sweep. And also, the finisher of the sweep sometimes is really, how to say, bugged out, and you won't really hit the target correctly, so it's not ideal at all. The Lifering one, I think it was good, yeah. But this one has the bleeding sweep, so you technically need to have the finisher. The one that Sakic told you in the chat is pretty much the best one that you can use for an assassin spear. Like Plague Crits, Penetrating Backstab and Attunement, or Penetrating Backstab and Rogue, one of the two, is technically the best. Because you have extremely high damage, you have disease, and most of the hits will be always in their back, because people don't really trade with spears. Like, you cannot trade with spear. This is technically the strongest weapon in terms of 1-to-1. So if a spear starts hitting you, especially the light people, which are your target, if you are playing an assassin, you are not chasing tanks, you are chasing healers and mages. They will never stay in front of you. So as soon as they start running, you are basically hitting them in the back. And when you hit people in the back, it's always a critical hit. And when it's always a critical hit, you always apply Plague Crits. Okay, with Attunement, yeah, I mean, like I said, you can go with Plague Crits, Penetrating Backstab, and Attunement. I love Sweep because it's really good CC. Yeah, but the thing is, if you use Sweep perk on your weapon, right, you have to play with the finisher of the sweep. This is Coup de Grace. This is the passive. And when you play Sweep, you don't use this one because it's buggy. You see? Like, when you do the first sweep, you don't follow up with this one. You don't take this. You don't make the hit into the ground because sometimes it's bugged and you would not hit the target. Instead, you do Sweep, then you do a basic attack, and then you do Cyclone. And like this, you're gonna do more damage, and it's more consistent. The hitbox, the hit range, and everything is just better and more consistent. And also, you are not getting locked into animation. Because if somebody at the same time is trying to hit you, you cannot dodge. If you are doing the Coup de Grace finisher, you cannot dodge, you cannot move, you cannot do anything. So it's really clunky. You can still use it though. I'm not saying that you should never use it, but it's just too clunky. So it's not ideal. Like, this sweep is really good for PvE. It deals a lot of damage, like a lot. I also had a build like this. I don't know how much, but probably like 1.5k bleeds on a tick. Sometimes, of course, not always, and depends on the target. But it's just insane. Like if you hit a mob, he's like bleeding out for thousands. Cyclone has a good hitbox and damage. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it has... Cyclone has so many things. It got nerfed, but still it's like super strong. It has good damage. It has strike damage, which people don't really protect into. It has a slow. It has... what is the name? Like... It gives you health back, technically. So, like lifesteal. It's really good. It's really good. And it has like a good AoE. With full empower, it's like 1200 per second. Yeah. It's a pretty decent bleeding. That's correct. Can I get lucky and get at least the transmog token? I mean, this is probably the only thing that I kind of want to get from elite chest runs, if I ever do once. So I can make myself more drips. More drips. I have, how many? 4 left. I need to make a new, like, outfit. I can maybe save those boxes from the big one for tomorrow to get some gold. Oh my god, this bug again. It's kind of buggy when you start opening the chests. Like, look at this, I'm clicking on it, but it doesn't open. Like, why? Why? It's so fucking annoying. Oh wait, I didn't open today? God damn. Doesn't matter the attunement, just don't go with fire. Yeah, correct. Don't go with fire. Because a lot of people, if not all, are playing with fire protection. People still believe that fire stuff is broken. They just don't understand. So everyone is protecting themselves from fire. Just go with ice, nature, stuff like this. Even void is still fine, but if I were you, I would go probably ice or nature. Actually, nature, I think it's pretty decent. Whoa. There we go. We'll kill some mobs. Alright, nice. Please give me the transmog token. I have 4k all prismatic materials, so I need to spend this. Oh yeah, you can spend it by giving it to me, by the way. I can literally spend it for you, and you would not feel the urge to spend them at all. Like, you can instantly spend them by giving them to me. That would be super nice. Nah, I'm joking. I can also have like quite a lot, but I'm not even doing my cooldowns at this point. I technically do cooldowns maybe once a week. And it's mainly because people from the yellow faction are not capturing the Weaver's Fen Fort at all. I feel like the yellow faction only comes online to play the wars and then leaves. This is literally what happens every single day. Like, if I open my company, look at this. 93 people, 3 online. Actually, 3 is quite a lot, not gonna lie. 7 PM, 3 people online, it's pretty good. Usually it's 1, and it's just me. This time we have 3 people. And then if you go like this, and then if you go like online, look at this. 51 days, 34, 33, 30, 30, 30. Like. And it's gonna go even higher. Until October. I really hope for October. But the good thing is, whatever happens in October, at least one thing will be okay, and that would be that Throne and Liberty will be out already. I'm gonna play Throne and Liberty. I'm not sure if I'm gonna try hard into it. Like, let's say, pushing for like max gear and things like this. But I will definitely play it, I will have some fun. And like I said, the progression there is pretty good. So I will try to, you know, to reach a good level, let's say. This one that you linked me is pretty bad, to be fair. You don't really need Keen. I mean, it's still a good drop, but Keen is not really useful. For PvE, it's completely useless. For PvP, it really depends on the class. Like, outside of Fire Staff, I don't think Keen has any other purpose. And on Fire Staff, it's only good a little bit, because you need, like, critical hits to recover mana. Otherwise, previously, when the mana from your attributes was recovering after a dodge and not after a critical hit, I would probably not go with Keen. I was playing Keen build, but then the Keen was completely different. Like, it was giving 12% chance, the Vicious was 12% damage instead of 7, and yeah, quite a lot of different things. But nowadays Keen is pretty much that perk. And again, I'm using it on the Fire Staff, but just because of specific things. Otherwise, on other weapons, I really don't see the value from it. This is the thing with most of the weapons in the game. You cannot get perfect spear as a name drop, let's say. You cannot get perfect great axe, I think. You cannot get perfect hammer. You cannot get perfect sword. What else? I think those are the weapons, and you cannot get any better greatsword than Serenity. Yeah, for PvP, I didn't specify that, but yeah, for PvP. Because penetrating backstab is technically one of the best perks for all melee players who are playing with like assassin kind of playstyle. And penetrating backstab cannot be added if you don't like have the correct perks on the other side, like rogue, attunement, stuff like this. You cannot also get attunement as a drop, so there you go, 2 perks already cannot exist together. Like attunement and penetrating backstab, you have to add them. So they cannot drop, and this is technically 2 perks. And since you cannot add 2 perks and you can only just add 1, that's it for the perfect weapon. It's just gone. Three perks PvP, not drop for me. For PvE, yeah. For PvE there is quite a lot of options. I think that there is probably all of the weapons have a good option for PvE. Like talking about, you know, increasing it by the kiln or clean or whatever it's called. Like look at this one for example. This in the early days, and by early days I mean right after 700 gear score came out, can be used. Now I can assure you that this will never even sell. Like this complete trash. Biz. This is not even close to be Biz. Like it's complete trash. If you want it, I can give it to you for free. First of all, health doesn't have that much value anymore. Like people not really play it anymore. Enchanted Ward is good. Like we said, it's pretty good. But also the other problem is that it's 690 with a split stat, which means that you are losing 2 attribute points. In total you have 30, a 700 gear score gives 32. If it was a single stat it would be 31, but just because of the split it's 30. So you are losing 2 attribute points, you are losing 1 perk in the place of health, and then Arcane Harnessing was used in the past for Fire Staff who plays with Detonate and suicides into the clumps. But the problem is that they nerfed Detonate to not be able to crit, and they nerfed the damage. So this doesn't have any value anymore. For PvE, fresh players can be usable. I mean, for fresh players everything is usable, to be fair. Fresh players can do whatever they like. Like quite literally they can do everything. It doesn't matter for them. It just like 2 perks is enough. I would say that for them 2 perks are pretty decent. But if you are aiming like to have best gear possible, no. Is there still chests to open? I think we finished, no? I probably can put it on the market for like 3k, I don't know. Is there any elite chest? I need elite chests. No, there is nothing here. Maybe I can build myself the house actually to put some like furnishing and shit. Azot crystal mask. I already know what it has. Do you want me to guess what it has? Because I know the 2 perks. I know that it has enchanted ward and refreshing. So I would assume that the 3rd perk is health. No. Refreshing vigor. Yeah, this one. Yeah, but this is, like you said, this for PvE. Like for PvE, that's true. Like that's pretty good. But for PvP, this is not ideal, let's say. I mean, it can be better. It's not like it's bad, don't get me wrong. It's still pretty decent. Because as a healer, you need like refreshing for sure. You need definitely 4 refreshings. I usually use mine on the jewelry. Don't really push them on the gear unless it's like locked on my artifact. Because I think both of the artifacts had it, right? Yeah, there is a refreshing on Nature's Rat and there is also refreshing on the Featherweight. So they are both locked. Where those guys go? Bro, they made a full circle on this city, man. God damn. Those guys are going wild. Okay. We are looting every single chest that exists here. God damn. I'm not even hitting the mobs. But I'm greedy. I think there were a few elite chests here. Am I right? Not this one though. This one is a small supply one. Like also like look at the rewards that you get from those chests. Like 60 wire fiber and 2 arrows. Like what is this, man? Like that's such a dumb reward. Like it's literally nothing. Where is the music as well? Like the background music kind of fell off. Shirking Fortify is usable in Season 5? No. Not at all. Like Shirking Fortify can be used in really specific occasions. But in general it's kind of dead perk. Yes, greedy of goldfish. Do you want to see a good and funny thing? Let me actually flex a little bit, man. Like, fuck it. Do you see this? And this? Are we talking about the same thing? Okay. I think enough flexing for today. Where is the other elite chest here, man? Come on. This one is a small one. I don't need that. I think that's it. Maybe down there? No. Yeah, actually I think there is one more. Don't worry, I didn't get them as a drop. Don't worry. I bought them, both of them. But like I said, I did everything in this game. So when I said I did everything in this game, I also meant that I have everything in this game. So the bow of the fish included. But yeah, not much things to be done still. Apart from the achievements that I'm pushing, which will take a bit more time. I still have some achievements to do. Actually tonight I will go for a push in Eden Grove, because there it's a horrible push. And I think... What? Oh my god, it's at 11, bro. Why they made it at 11? That's so fucking late. Oh my god, I need to stay up to 11 to make that. I will probably close the stream by then, but... and it's gonna be also quite boring, to be fair. But I have to run it there, because during pushes, you can technically make one extra quest, and this is the capture of fort. Because when there is a push, you don't need to go and capture the big fort, you can capture those small towers. So they are only active during the push. And because of the rotation of the quests here, I really need this, you know, extra quest. Otherwise it's just too slow. I have full max trophies. I can also buy my max trophies. I think I have only the ones for crafting, like those. But I really don't want to spend extra money for the other ones. I just don't think it's worth it. Because first of all, I'm not really farming PvE that much. Second of all, I'm not gathering. Probably not at all. At this point, I have like all my professions. I farmed quite a lot in the early days, but not anymore. Like you see, for example, 450 mining and stuff like this. But I really stopped farming long time ago. And yeah, I just don't see the value of spending... How much it was? Like 65k per trophy? Was it 65? I think it was 65 or 45. I think it was 45, something like this. So that's like quite a lot of gold. It's just too much. I don't think it's worth it. Let's see, is there any other run somewhere? Not really. It's just Imperial. Let's see, maybe those guys will go somewhere. For how much you buy that? I'm trying every single day in Nissa, trying to get it. People went crazy asking me 1 million. My girlfriend bought it for 400k. So I will tell you the prices first, but then I will tell you that this thing costs way more than 1 million, and I will explain you why. The first one, I bought it even before the seasons and the leaderboards came in. I don't know exactly when it was, but it was really long time ago. And I paid for the first one 1.5 million. Now, I didn't pay the whole sum into gold. I paid 500k gold plus materials. Like I paid Grand Runes of Holding, Asmodiums, Runic Leather, stuff like this. The second one, yeah, I got them too. The second one, I bought it for... I'm not sure if it was 250 or 300,000, but something like this. It was way cheaper. And the reason for that is because they fucked up, I think on season 1 or season 2, there was... I will try to find if there is again such thing. Now, of course, it's different. But there was a chest that was giving a rare furnishing item, right? And they didn't exclude the golden fish and the bonsai, so they kind of fuck it up. And a lot of people got too many fishes. Like, when I say a lot, I don't mean like thousands of people, but a couple of 100 people to get such rare drop, it's already too much. This drop rate, I think somebody was calculating it, it's like 1 in several million, something like this. So it's kind of insane, you know? So when those people opened, like let's imagine that 20 or 50 people in a single server opened and they got fish, they started selling. And because at that time, like there was still people playing, nobody wanted to pay that much for a fish when there is so much distribution. So they started undercutting each other, and they eventually went down to like 200, 300k, something like this. However, this thingy with the seasonal pass, what I told you, got fixed. So now the only way to obtain this, currently at least, is by going and opening chests. And like I said, the chance of getting it by a chest is, I don't know how many in a million, or probably in a couple of millions. So it's just insane. So that's why I personally would not sell mine under 2.5 or even let's say 2 million. I would not sell it under that. I would just keep it for myself. But if somebody is selling for 300, 500 or something like this, I will buy it instantly. Like no joke. I will sell the stuff that I have because I have a lot of other stuff. And I can buy it again. I don't mind. But this thing usually costs a lot. And the same can be said for bonsai as well. I also have 2 bonsais. I bought them for 200k. Exactly the same way as the fish. The second fish, I mean. because they also dropped in price. Like this is the one, and I think the second one should be here as well. Yeah, there it is. They just dropped. I didn't have more money at that time. I would buy more, but I just didn't have more money. I remember time when fish you can buy for 200k. Probably it was this time when the seasonal pass was fucked up. 0.002%. Yeah, I mean, it's just wild. And this is only from supply chests. I don't think you can get it from elite chest. It has to be a supply chest. So this means that when you are running here and you are opening the elite chests, it doesn't work. To be honest, I got Bonsai Centerpiece in a buy order for just 55k way back in Barry. I was also in Barry. I'm telling you, the fact that you got it for such a price means that the person who sold it is technically unaware of what he did. Like there is quite a lot of people who are selling things for a price, but they don't really understand the value of the items, which is good. I mean, for the buyer is always good, right? Like you get a super rare piece, and like imagine now you put a buy order for a 50 or 100k of a fish, and somebody is like, oh, I have a fish. Let's see how much this is selling for. Oh my god, 100k. And if it's a new player, he doesn't know, and he's like, damn, 100k, that's a lot. Like this is the whole amount that he has after leveling like from 0 to 65, right? But then he plays a couple of months later and then he finds out that this shit is like millions and he's like, oh my god, what did I do? You know? So if you manage to get it, good for you, but the person kind of fucked up. Because definitely the value of the item is not 50k. There is also other rare furniture items, not as expensive of course, they are a bit less expensive. But I don't know if you know them, guys. There is white and black vases, like short and tall vases. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation in English though. Like where you put flowers in, right? Is it called vases? I think it should be vases, I don't know. Whatever, you get what I mean, where you put your flowers. So there is short ones and there is tall ones. Those things, they were also like pretty rare, and they are still rare, and a lot of people, not now, but back in the days, a lot of people were paying a really good price. I remember one healer, I'm pretty sure it was a girl of course, she was building up her house and she needed like probably some of those, like probably 6 or 8, something like this. She was paying up to 100k for each, just so she can get them, but there was not a single one in the whole server. Just wondering, asking every single person to craft statue of Jupiter now. I have one, but it's crafted. It's not. I don't have the recipe, but I think they are selling in the server for quite cheap. I think they are around 5-6k, something like this. It's just like kind of cheap. But of course, once the recipe is open, like once the recipe is out, then eventually it gets cheaper. I also paid 500k for golden storage chest recipe. I paid it to a friend that got lucky. There were people offering him like up to 800k, I think, but he said that he will give it to me. So let's see. Porcelain, no. Wait. What was it? Toe. Let me actually try to look. It's furnitures, but decoration probably. Rugs, dishes, other. No, it's not other. What it was? Curtains, paintings, no. Let's try with furniture. Where is it? Those are tables. Or maybe it's this one. Animals, other, large. No, those are the statues. So you said carved statue of Jupiter, there it is. It's like 10,000. Buy orders are going for 500. The schematic is so rare. Yeah, for Jupiter is really rare. I also tried to buy it, but nobody got it. She's not named, just Vanny. I think it's just a vase if you are referring the vase. But I cannot really find it. Oh, probably could be here. No. Bro, where is this? It's not animals. Maybe here? No. Bro, what? It's not trophies. Furniture. It's not tables. Stoves. Definitely not. By the way, okay. Mediterranean. Rugs. Not. Cabinets. Definitely not. Yeah, it's not this one. Shelves, chairs, beds. It's not this. Then schematics. Probably it's just a schematic, but it should be still a sellable item. Yeah, rugs. Oh, yeah, those. This is what I was saying. So, tall black porcelain vase. This one. It's kind of rare. And also the white version. Nobody. I mean, no sell orders, no buy orders, nothing. And then you have the short ones. Short one is actually craftable. Wait, did they make them craftable? No way. This one is not craftable, but the short one is. And this one is also not craftable, so only the short white one. But those are not. In Nissan, no one is selling it. I mean, here there is also nobody selling it. And those things are like pretty hard to get. Like this, for example, as well. It's pretty like rare. But I mean, those kind of things, you just don't get them as easy. And you need to open like so many chests. And I can make it like this and make like this. Just put like 1 gold more. Just one. Let me put for this one as well. Like how much? 500? 2 of them. Why I cannot put more than 4? Oh, maybe because they are in a stack. There could be maximum 4. Actually, let's put 4. This will never fill up as a buy order, but who cares? I mean, it doesn't matter. Alright. Let's go do some more quests. But indeed, it's like, it's really rare. And those kind of things, I think it's a big flex. Like afterwards, if the game somehow survives, which is kind of hard, but yeah, if it somehow survives, it's gonna be a big flex later on. And I kind of assume that at some point they will make it obtainable, and this will basically break the whole thing, because when you have such a rare item, and some OG players have them, there is many games that decide to make those like super rare items easily obtainable or craftable. And you can see it actually on the crafting recipes. You can now craft the telescope. I don't know if you know about this, but the telescope was also one of the rare items. Now it can be crafted. Like, it's super stupid. Like, why are you making such a rare furniture craftable? Like, it's just losing the value of the item. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's see. Oh my god, those guys are recruiting for the war. Prime time war, bro. This is not gonna be a war, this will be a war camp. It's a different thing. What's your biggest fear? Okay, well that's an interesting question. If I have to be honest, probably that. I think that's the only thing that can scare a person. Like, what else would scare you? I don't know. Probably this. Not much else. I think that anything else can be, in a way, avoided, or let's say that you are struggling and you have hard times, you can probably get together and live through them, but you cannot really survive that if it comes, so. What is yours? Uno reverse question.
I see the light is still with you.
Okay. Let me see actually how many more I need to do. 427, so I need like more or less 70-80 quests. That's quite a lot of spam, to be fair. That's indeed quite a lot of spam. Oh, and it's only... Oh my god, it's 7:45. Okay, so we have the push at 11, which is super late. I can probably go on an OPR or two, to be fair. I was not really planning to play OPRs, but there is no chest runs going at all. Like, I don't know why. Like, I really don't understand why. Probably the people already ended up. We cannot even find people for M3s. I think M1s are just a waste of time. If it's an M1, probably it's better just to go on a normal run and just get the gold. Like, technically it's the same thing. I'm scared of everything? Oh my god. Well, that's not good. Why are you scared from everything? I mean, it's pretty normal for a person to have a fear from something, but not from everything. Then it's a bad thing. It's not ideal. Are you scared of New World? Probably not, because you are watching it. Are you also scared of me? Also probably not, because you are watching me. So there you go. Two things that you are not scared from. So that's already a good start. M1 and M2 is a waste of time. Yeah, indeed. I mean, even M3 is a waste of time, to be fair, but at least you can get some pieces. Like, the only positive thing that I can think of in M3 is that you can get a really nice piece with illegal perks, but this is only in some of the dungeons. Like, not all of them, just in some of the dungeons. And that's about it. Like, everything else is kinda shit show. I don't know too. Everything can be scary. I mean, I think it depends. It depends. But indeed, it's not good if you're scared from too many things. Can you show me your achievement page? For me, it's like 720 to get... Yes, I can show you. This is the thing that I'm kind of trying to reach from I don't know how much time now. Because at some point, like, the game was always getting to those bad states, right? Like, there was always a state where the game is boring, there is nothing to do, there is not enough content, or there is no wars, people quitting, or just companies disbanding, because this is also quite a common thing in the PvP scene. And when those moments happened, usually when I was getting bored, let's say it like this, I was trying to do something in the game so I can keep myself engaged to something so I don't quit. Because I'm usually a person who plays not more than 1 or 2 games. And if I change the game, I would probably not come back if I find, let's say, a better replacement. But because I like New World and I like the way how the combat works, and I still believe that eventually, one day, it might be a good game, I was willing to, you know, find myself something to do so the time can pass and eventually to recover the game. So then I decided, oh wait, maybe I can do achievements. Like, this is looking like pretty wild. It would take too much time, and definitely by the time I finish all the achievements, the game will be in a better state, right? So this started long time ago, and of course I didn't like go with the assumption that I would do it at once. It's like in portions. But now it's kind of the biggest portion. Like, now there was several months of complete silence, like dead silence about the game from the developer team technically. There is no new content, the game is losing insane amounts of people, you know that very well. And now is the best time for me to do achievements, but I'm reaching close to the end of it, and then if I reach it, what I'm gonna do is the question. So I don't know. Where are you from? I'm usually from Bulgaria, but I'm currently living in Luxembourg. You don't need other people for doing this? Well, it depends on the achievements. There is some achievements which are pretty hard to get for some people, of course. And for me it was also hard. Like, for example, this one, winning 100 wars. It's not that much in terms of a number, but you first need to be in a good guild. Getting into a good guild is hard process. Getting the wins is also not an easy thing to do. And this takes quite a lot of time for many of the players. Like, I can assure you that 90% of the player base, even more, don't have this achievement, even though 3 years passed already. So it's like quite hard. Another hard one, which actually took me really long time, is this one, catching 10,000 fish, which I recently finished. So I'm even carrying the title now, and I will carry it for quite some time as well, fishing for life. And yeah, then technically after those two, the hardest ones, or they are not really hard, but they just take a lot of time, is the corrupted breaches, which you need 5,000. For this one, it's always better with a party, of course. You can just speed run them if you have a party. It's way faster, it's way easier. And then the most annoying ones, I would say, are the PvP by territory, because for each territory in the game, it doesn't matter if it's like a company owned territory, or it's like, what was it? I forgot the word, but you know what I mean, those white territories. It doesn't matter for which. You need to do two different types of achievements. The first one is 500 PvE, and the other one is 500 PvP. So this means that for each territory you have in total 1000 quests, and the territories are 15 in total. So those are 15,000 quests. You can get the number again, 15,000. Like that's just wild. Like, it's insane. And the problem is, like, now I'm doing the PvE ones for for Windsworth, as you can see. I am going like 1, 2, whatever. But it's easy because I can teleport. So it's kinda, I wouldn't say super fast, but it's fast enough, right? But the problem comes when you have to do PvP ones. Because when you do PvP ones, you cannot teleport. And then you have to technically either suicide to gain distance, either just walk, and then you need always to wait for a minute and a half, because one of them is just waiting for a minute and a half, and it's just getting more and more ridiculous. In some territories, like Weaver's Fen for example, the PvP quest starts from the city. You just have to walk to here, wait a minute and a half, walk back. Pretty easy. In Eden Grove, like I said earlier, the rotation is so bad that you have the fort and the camp here. You have the other two quests here and here. So you never get those two together. There is just one rotation. So you can do two in one rotation, then you have to do one. Then you have to do two again, then you have to do one. And this is extremely slow and boring. That's why I'm not really pushing Eden Grove at the moment. I'm just waiting for the technical PvP pushes so I can do the extra fort quest, and this would give me like a small chance of a bit more quest there. It's just stupid, man. It's just stupid. Walking manually, yeah, it's whatever. Like, it just consumes time. Like, it's really annoying. It was so funny when suddenly the evicted title showed up. When a company lost a war, no access to the territories. Wait, what? Oh, damn. But yeah, it's just like, the thing is, I have the privilege to work from home for some of the days of my work week. And this is, you know, when I'm like chilling, let's say, or watching some podcasts, I can do this. So it's kind of a brain dead activity that doesn't really require too much of you. Like, you can watch or have a talk with someone, or, you know, do something on the side and technically just walk, give the quest, and that's it. But if you actually have to do this for a super long period of time, this is definitely not a gameplay. And that's why I'm like avoiding to do it too much time on the stream as well. Like, that's why I played a little bit other games. I will also play other games when Throne and Liberty comes out and stuff like this, because it's way more interesting, and it's also like more entertaining as well. Like, watching me doing the same quest over and over again, probably it's not the best thing ever. And actually, I will now go to Scorpio, because this is one of the artifacts that I still don't have. This is one of the things that I don't have in the game. I like your channel, man, but I must go. See ya, peace. See ya, man. See ya, and don't be scared of anything. Don't worry, life is beautiful. You just need to believe in it, and everything will be fine.
I see the light is still with you.
Should I wait for the next quest? I mean, whatever. Let's just go to Scorpio. Where is the closer one? I think here is the closer one. But yeah. Did you guys check the Throne and Liberty, by the way? It's coming in almost a month now. It should come on the 17th of September. So it's like 1 month and 10 days from now. And I think it's gonna be a good, at least in the beginning, it's gonna be a good game. There will be so many things to do. So worth checking it out. And also it's like a free-to-play game, so you don't really need to invest too much into it. You can just, I don't know, like download, play a little bit, see for yourself. If you don't like it, you just leave. If you do the same with any other game that is, you know, pay to play, then you just have 2 hours, because that's the policy of Steam. You can play a game up to 2 hours and then you can refund. If you reach 2 hours or you pass them, then it's kind of late. Even though I think in the past Steam actually made refunds on games that really did super poor performance. Like for example, a game drops out, it's a complete scam, let's say, like people buy for it, but then the developers don't even, you know, maintain the game. There is full of bugs, it's like a complete shit show, and then they technically take it down from Steam, then Steam technically refunds the game. But there are not that many cases, I think, or at least I don't know that many cases of such games. I think there was recently one of those. It was like a survival or something like this, but I really don't remember the name of it. Okay, so let's see. Can we actually survive here? I don't know. Let me take the camp. Helldivers. Was it this one? I think people got like super hyped for it, and then they said like, oh my gosh, they made it like super bad. Was it this one? Maybe. I go craft the spear. Alright, alright. Yo, should we go? Oh my god, they are already killing it. Yo, wait. I need the drop. Actually, like, jokes aside, this is probably the only artifact that I still don't have. Imagine. And this is like an artifact that existed in the game from the first patch of artifacts. Like, this is basically one of the first artifacts. And I don't have it after so much time. But I technically didn't farm it. I mean, it's normal. As I said, I never kind of played spears, great swords in PvP. Bro, are you kidding me? Why the... Wait, I need to take a picture. Okay, let's make a picture. Can I make even better picture? But if I remove the UI, yeah, I cannot see it. Like, why does it show like this? Is that the real Scorpio or that's just fake? I mean, why I got a fucking sword, man? It has to be a spear. Please tell me that's a visual bug. There is no way. Wait for 45 minutes and then try again. Yeah. Pretty nice one. Oh my lord. Yeah, it's indeed. It's a stupid sword. Oh no. Okay. Let's just salvage that shit. Okay, well, unlucky. Let's see. Anywhere else? Should we go Merkguard? Yo, let's start the Merc train. Let's go. Plus Merc, people will bait for it. Let's go and make Merc rate. I need to go there. Oh my god. Is it actually 45 minutes the full rotation of day and night? I'm not really sure. Sometimes he responds faster. I think it's like a specific rotation. Like it takes X amount of time to get like from day cycle to night cycle and vice versa. But I don't really know how much time it takes. I think it's... I had like a timestamp for all of the day and night cycles, but this was at the very beginning when they released the artifacts, because a lot of people were hyped about the Scorpio. They kind of wanted to have it, so they even like make this preparation, let's say, to see when exactly is the day starting and when the night and so on. But I really don't remember the exact timers. I just remember that it was less than an hour for sure, because the timers were changing consistently. Like, let's say at 2 p.m, like 2:00, it's gonna be night, and then the next rotation would be 2:38. Just as example. Not that it's 38 minutes, but just as example. By the way, by the time they form the raid, I will just quickly go to get my juice from the fridge, because I have a really special juice for more damage, guys. So give me just a minute and I'll be right back. Opla. Okay, I'm back. Wait, nobody's inviting me, guys. Please add me to the raid. I just saw 2 twice in 3 years. Wait, what do you mean 2 twice? Do you mean like 2 respawns together or what? I don't think it's possible. Is it actually possible to have like 2 respawns in 1 night cycle? I don't know. I thought that it's like 1 respawn per night cycle, and that's it. Like once you kill him, you need to wait for the next night cycle. But I'm not sure. Spear with attuned, play crits, backstab. Yes, correct. Penetrating backstab, attunement, and play crits, or penetrating backstab, play crits, and rogue. One of the 2. But both are like extremely good. Attunement is good because it gives you 14% damage on front and back hits, while rogue gives you... Do I have rogue? Oh, wait, I think I have one here. No, this penetrating. This is... Bro, where is the rogue one? Okay, I don't have rogue, I cannot see, but yeah, the rogue is only from the back. I think it was 19%. But attunement is maybe better, because if they are not really with their back turned, the rogue will not proc. And you already have penetrating backstab anyway, so it's kind of good. Okay, let's go and collect... Oh wait, I cannot really open that many chests. I'm kind of full. I forgot to like drop the stuff. Like look at the potions that I have, man. It's kind of nuts. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We will open only elite chests. Probably I can make this trick so I can, you know, save a little bit of space. I will only open elite chests. Wait, rogue is 11% now? So they nerfed it as well? Oh my god. Yeah, then go for attunement. Never mind what I said earlier. Rogue is not better than attunement in that case. I thought that it's 19%. I think it was 19 in the past, so that's why I got confused. But if it's just 11, then just go for attunement. It's better. Also, your attacks are not that fast, so you have enough time between the hits to proc the attunement again. I think it takes like a second and a half nowadays. Actually, I can check that on my fire staff. I think I have a fire staff with this. Was it this one? Yeah. Yeah, it's 1.5, so 1.5 seconds. So if you do your 2 light attacks, you're gonna proc it once, and then on the second rotation you have it again. I need to consistently salvage now all the gear that I will get, because I would otherwise get into overcumber status. Let's go straight to the portals. By the way, from the portals there were 2 artifacts, right? The Abyssal Great Axe and the Grey Wizard Hat, right? There is no more than this. I think I have both. Like for the axe 100%, for the Grey Wizard Hat I think I also have it. But I'm not sure if those are the only 2 artifacts. Probably there could be something else. Let me just open my juicy juice. Oh my god, when it's cold, it's so nice in those hot summer days. It's so nice. For spear, it depends. I'm using penetrating backstab, but don't go with jagged. Like, in PvP, keenly jagged is kind of a weak perk. The only way that you can use keenly jagged and to get like a good benefit from it is if you are using finisher, because then all the targets that are affected by bleed will receive more damage from you. But as you said, you are playing sword and shield. Are you not playing sword and shield and spear? I thought that you are playing sword and shield and spear. Even if you do, it's still not better. Because if the target is bleeded, right? But only if it's bleeded, you're gonna have 15% more damage. If you hit him with attunement, it's gonna be 14%. So, I don't know. On theory, the bleed should be a bit better, because it has like a bit better uptime, but I'm really not sure. Because after all, you need to crit in order to proc the bleed. So I really don't know if it's better or not. I would go with the attunement, believe me. Like, all of the good players and all of the PvP players are going with attunement. So I assume that they already made the calculations. I put plague crits on finisher and gem is emerald. I don't know. Like, what was the bonus from the emerald? Isn't it more damage to targets that are under crowd control? I think that was the emerald, no? Wait, let me see. Oh no, you said emerald. Yeah, okay. Makes sense. My bad. I thought that, yeah, it's malachite. Are you are using it in the fire staff? Yeah, correct. I just got confused. I got confused with the malachite, because they are both green, and for some reason I was thinking about the malachite. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's good. If you play also on evade, like with evade skill, you can spam the hits really quickly. And if you are chasing someone, probably you will be hitting him in the back, which means that the plague crits will be casted really like non-stop. So that's probably good. Damn, so much corruption. Like those, for example, portals, there is no way you're gonna do them alone. Even if you are like 5 people, you're gonna still have like difficulties here. Okay. Oh wait, those are giving gypsum. Oh no, this is from the... I thought that I got gypsum from the brute, but it was actually from the portal. Where is the chest? Okay, there it is. Damn. It feels nice to see so many people. This is probably the whole server at this point. Like, Back in the days, Murgard was like clown fiesta. So many people were running here, but it was too long time ago. Really long time ago. Let me salvage so I don't get overcumbered. We get some more gear that is 625, which we don't really need. You don't have buff engineering? Oh yeah, unlucky. That's unlucky. Let me check if I have. I have one. I can do it for you. Or if you want, you can change your house if you want to craft it for yourself. Monarchs, and then... Where is oh yeah, brimstones. Yeah, I have one. If you want, I can craft it for you. If you have the necessary stuff. But if it's from an inductor, I think I cannot do it because we cannot trade the inductor. I mean, you can give me the money, but I'm kind of saving them for the next big thing and the next big season. Which might even not even happen, I don't know. Yeah, it's just the inductor. Don't you have a house in Everfall? Where are your houses, by the way? Like, usually people always have either Everfall, either Windsward. Because they're like considered to be main hubs from the very beginning. And even to this day, now it doesn't really matter like where you're gonna have a house. But yeah, people still like kind of treat Everfall, Windsward, maybe Ebonscale with Monarch's Bluff and Brimstone as like main hubs. Cutlass, Windsward, Morningdale, okay. Yeah, in this case it's kind of like funny because we have Morningdale, but if they already activated the engineering passion in Everfall, which is also our city, I don't think they will do the same in Morningdale. Otherwise, I would have asked. Boom! Okay. One more portal done. It's nice. Actually, there is so many named items that can be used to basically make a pretty much base gear. Like this lifestyle that I just salvaged with blessed, I mean, and refreshing move. That's pretty decent. I mean, that's technically 2 perfect perks, and you can just decide one last perk, which exact weapon perk you would want. And there you go. And you have a perfect staff. Pretty nice. Like, this is what I was saying earlier, that the gear is so easy to obtain nowadays. You just need a little bit of gold, you know, to use like the chromatic seals and to upgrade your items. But if you know what you are doing, it's not that hard. And it doesn't even take that much time. Like, it eventually takes you time because of the chromatic seals, but you can also like go and find gear like straight up from the market as well. Most of the top weapon items you can drop from dungeons in open world. Yeah, that's true, exactly. I'm really confused whether to keep at least 5 inductor and 15 seals for the next big. But people keep on telling me that every 700 gear score that we have can be upgraded. The thing is, I don't know. I think that's kind of clear. I don't think there is anyone who can tell you right now what will be the thing and how exactly the system will work. For the most part, people are saying, and I think it was also kind of briefly mentioned by the devs, that there will be a system to upgrade to 725. But this system will be from 2 different places. The first one will be the PvP island, which will be considered as the PvP zone, right? This is the PvP path. And the second one will be from the PvE raid. Now, those are the, you know, the assumptions of the players. Is it gonna be like this? I cannot really tell you with certainty of 100% and be like, yeah, that's it. For sure, I can guarantee. No, I just cannot. Those are the rumors. So I really don't know what they will decide to do. You don't need a lot of money. You can craft in gypsum smelter for materia. 700 gear score if you're lucky. Yeah, that's true as well, but you need quite a lot of material like this. 700 gear score if you're lucky, then you need to roll, let's say 5 of them, and each one is like 3000 materia. That's like 20,000 materia. That's a lot. That's really a lot. Worm and PvP island. I don't think it will be the worm. There is like a new raid. They said that now they're gonna make a new actual raid with not only one boss inside, because technically the worm is like a short variation of a dungeon. Like you just go in, kill 10 mobs, and straight up to the dungeon. Like this is just stupid. But they will make a raid which is progressively harder, according to their words. And there will be like stages. Like you kill, let's say, some mobs, you make it to the first boss, then you kill some more mobs, then you make it to the second, and so on. Is it gonna be good? Is it gonna be hard? Is it gonna be challenging? I really don't want to wish anything, because I already saw that they are not really capable of keeping their promises, or their understanding, let's say, for some things are completely different from what the people think. Like they also said that the worm will be the hardest raid ever and only 2% of the player base will complete it. Then they release it in PTR and the speedrunners went and killed the beast in 10 minutes without even proper gear. And they said to them, guys, are you actually true to your words that this will be super hard? Because this is like a shit show. Like it's a clown fiesta. It's super easy. Are you gonna increase the HP, or are you gonna make more mechanics, or what? Like, is it just the 10% of it, or what? And then what they didn't add extra mechanics, they just add more HP. So the sponge is now bigger. Woohoo! Bigger sponge. Let me hit, instead of like hitting it 5 minutes, let me hit it 10 minutes, because this will make it harder. And that's just how it is. So this is why I'm saying, like, I really cannot trust that they will do something properly. Of course, if they do, it's gonna be nice, but the question is, will they be able to? This is one of the best pools, by the way. In the early days, people were dying from this a lot. Like, you pull this big guy. This guy is probably the scariest enemy in the whole game, after Trope. Like, Trope probably is the first and those are the second. I still remember, like, I'm pretty sure you've seen it too. Like, imagine 100 people raid, killing those portals, everyone wearing green and blue gear, literally one hit away from death. And then everyone is just looting this chest. Then you pull this sword guy, he comes here, 360 front flip, and one-shots everyone. Like, bro, this was fucking wild. Like, this is what the game needs, man. Like, it has to be in some places of the game, like in dungeons or specific location outside in the open world, there should be something ridiculously, stupidly hard, you know, like just to make people mad on it, but at the same time to make it fun for them, you know, like there should be something like this. You cannot just make everything like super easy and then, yeah, like what are we even doing? But indeed, good old days. Good old days. Okay, I think the last wave is coming. Yeah. Now they are just dying like super quick. Like, look at this. Yeah. And the same can be said for the invasions as well. Like, invasions were really hard challenge in the very beginning. I think it was also pretty prestigious for a guild or anyone, like not a specific guild, but like anyone who participates in Invasion to actually complete it. Because in the early days, the gear was like so trash, you don't do damage. Those like mobs are coming, you needed like a super good strategy to make it. And it was almost impossible. I think the first invasions that were done were basically because of a bug. Like there was a bug where the mobs were not really going to the doors and they were like somehow going back. I even remember my first invasions, like I mean the ones that we actually completed. My first ones, this is now a good piece, by the way. My first ones were like blocking. So the Spriggan comes, 5 people stay in front of him, you just block and he cannot cross you. Like he cannot walk through you and you basically block his path. You body block him. So this is how we made our first ones. But then they fix that. They make them to kind of go around you or to go over you. I even seen like a video where not only the Spriggan but other mobs like the brutes, for example, they literally climb on top of the walls. Like they don't care about the doors, they just ignore them and they just climb on the walls and they just walk in. Like you can repair as much as you want, they just enter. Some crazy ass shit. Okay, we are done with this as well. What's left? God damn. Alright. Maybe it's a good time to go and actually sell those things. Let's go and give it a try. Let's see if we can sell those. Oh, there is actually... Yeah, somebody is pushing in Everfall, but I will not go do quest there. I will probably get counter-pushed. I mean, not counter-pushed, but like, they will kill me. But it's good that someone is pushing us though. That's pretty nice, because this means that tomorrow we will have a war. Which is, of course, something that we kind of play for at this point. I can safely say that at this point, if you look at peak numbers of the game, probably 40% of them are warloggers. I can assure you this. Oh, my bad. Missed one. This song actually on Expert is really wild. Really wild. Whoever was selling common honing stones on 0.4 gold, I say thank you. I mean, common are the lowest one, right? This was 4%, I think? 3? Something like this. Do you have time in the weekend for help me collect gear for this sword and shield spear? I can share prismatic... No, you don't need to share anything. Just tell me what do you need in terms of help. I mean, it depends what kind of help you do need. Because literally the build, I even have such build though. Like it's for light gear with... No, but it's sword and shield and great axe, my bad. But technically... it really depends on what artifact you're gonna play. So if you're gonna play... You said you're gonna play medium, right? I assume you're gonna play with tumblers. Because this basically is probably the best for you. I mean, you are also running Shirking Hills. So if you play tumblers, then you already have one of the items. Then you have to have Ankh, which is 2 items. If you craft your spear and you have your sword, you technically have 4 items. You can craft yourself a good shield. I don't know if they are selling some good shields. I also don't know if there is like a really good drop for a shield. And that's kind of it. I mean, you are basically left with like few items that you need to farm, but probably Frigid Down set would be the best answer, I would say, because in medium you can afford that. I have a lot of shields. I mean, you can have a lot. The question is, are they good? That's the main question. I also have a lot of gear, but it depends if it's good or not. Okay, let's actually sell those things. Let's see. So we have health, we have enchanted ward, and we have harnessing, but it was arcane harnessing. Alright, and then we have, let's actually put some gear score, let's say 680. I think it was something around this. Light gloves. 41,000, are you mad? Are you linking me stuff? Let's see. Yeah, this one is not bad. Yeah, this one is also pretty good. Alright. Okay, yeah, that's actually really good indeed. They are pretty decent to be used. Wait, bro, if this is 40,000, can I just make like, I don't think anyone will buy it, but you know, like let's say 15,000? I mean, bro, there is no way this can cost that much. Like those guys are crazy. This cannot be that much. Let me remove the harnessing perk and check like this. Yeah, but this with focus, like this one is way better from mine, and it's 4,000. This one is with nature and it's 5,000. Yeah, thank God I didn't place it for that much, like nobody would buy it. I would just put it like this. 4K, it's decent price. I would be happy if I get 4K. A lot more in storage. Did you make crafts? I mean, at some point actually it was really like when the gear score was 600, there was a way to craft shields with like cheap materials, and one craft was like, I don't know how much it was, but probably around 500 gold or something like this per craft. Because on the shields you don't need the maximum gear score, you kind of need like close enough to max, but you technically get the, you know, the same value. And I was crafting like 500 each, and I sold I think 2 or 3 for like 50k. It was insane. I have that schematic. What you are talking about? What do you mean schematic? I'm not talking about schematic. It was like 600, when it was 600 gear score, you still craft with like timeless shards, but it was you basically don't craft 700, let's say. You don't really go for the full potential. Because if it's 690, you are just losing like 0.1, let's say, on the critical chance. It's not a lot. You are not losing attributes or anything. Shirking energy, refreshing, and strike conditioning. I think it was the pants. I think it was this. Let's see. Strike conditioning. Oh my god, 290. And what is the stat? 32 con. Okay, let's go with like 700 gear score. Ooh, grit ward. Okay, this is not bad. Yeah, I think I'll put them for like 1.5k if somebody wants them. I don't mind. I mean, anyway, it's gonna be a profit if somebody decides to buy them, so it's gonna be nice. I have a lot of shields because I play tank in mutations so many times. Oh yeah, this is also a thing. I mean, with the bias drop, right? Like they kind of drop what you are wearing, and if you are playing a tank, then it's obvious you're gonna get a lot of them. That's true. That is true. Actually, I think I will go for like a few OPRs. There is otherwise nothing else is happening though. Like quite literally. I mean, it's pretty hard to get into any like chest runs. We did like 2 technically. Oh wait, DD for Zigo. Let me go. Let me go. Matthias Gabriel, let's go. Let's do everything today. Where was Zigo? Oh yeah, here. I kind of forgot. I didn't do those things for such a long time, I tend to forget where they are. God damn. Okay. Man, don't ask them in the global chat to put you engineering buff. They would not. Probably they are not even looking. If you ask me, you can change your house. I think you get half of the price. Like basically it will cost you 10,000. If you have the big house of 20k, you can sell your old one and then buy your new one. And there you go. You lose like 10k. Come on guys, open. What's up? Actually, it's pretty cool to see people being together. Like those three guys are in the same company. This guy is in a different company, but he's the governor, so probably he has too much gold, and that's why he is alone and being the governor of its own company. It's really nice to see people playing together, because otherwise, if you play alone, you pretty much get bored really quickly. We have a bleed rapier, that's nice. Bro, this Ziggurat is doing insane damage, man. Damn. Okay. Why he's not going to recover, that's the question. Okay, there we go. Now hit it. Alright. Actually, it's not dying that fast. I mean, this is one of the stronger ones in terms of those PvE arenas. I think the strongest is this one, then the second is the one from Pool, and then probably it's like the Siren. But even though like he's a bit tough, I think he can still die in like a minute if the party is like pretty well equipped, of course. Talking about like max gear and really good damage. Oh, I didn't dodge that. Ooh, those guys are getting kinda stomped. GG's. Nice one. I think they don't have any more runs, but this was a good one. Are they gonna open again? Yes, they do. Okay, sir. Let's go. If you're gonna open for me, I don't mind running this. Not at all. Can run a few always. Not that I need anything, but still. Alright, let's go. Now that I know that our team is not that powerful, I will try to play a bit more cautious. Because I don't really want us to die and then just, you know, have to fail the kill. Because this was actually pretty common for like newer players that go inside this and they don't really have the necessary gear or understanding of how to fight it. And then they basically like go in, die, and just lose the orb technically. And the problem is if they don't leave but they just remain on the ground like that, the arena doesn't reset as well. Like you need to wait for the full duration, which is like 15 minutes. In order to be able to enter after them. Which is a bit ridiculous, but it is what it is. Like I think if the whole party is in a down state, because if you get downed, you can get like raised up. You don't really die into this arena. But if your whole party is down and there is nobody to raise you, like why the game doesn't register that as a failure? Like you are on like semi-death, nobody can raise you up. Like, just reset the thing. I don't know why they made it like this. But yeah, it is what it is. There we go. Another run. Nice. Let's see if they have more. If they have, I can literally run here. It gives me territory standing, so for me it's pretty fine. I need 8 more levels, technically, for this for this territory. So that's pretty good, but they don't have. I have a lot of orbs, but I will just keep them for myself for now. I kinda expect those arenas eventually in some time to become more relevant, more necessary. Not just to give you an artifact and that's it. And if that happens, or people want to boost their experience, I can then use them. But yeah. Oh, those are shields again. Let's see. Why I cannot see it? Okay. Empowering breaker is kinda meh. Sorry. Yeah, those with the perks, like Fortifying Shield Rush is the only good perk on a shield. Everything else is kinda meh. This one is good. The others, not so much. Like this one, because of the Sturdy Fortification, in a round shield you don't really get that much value. Like Sturdy Fortification is only good in heavy. And yeah, like I think I actually have one. I think it's kind of like this one. And you can change, for example, I don't know, like Keenly Jacked, you can change it to Enchanted, for example. Like the rotation between the sword itself and the shield can combine like different combinations because they technically share the same perks. So if you have Keenly Jacked on your shield, you can have Enchanted, let's say, on your sword, just for example. Or if like you can do vice versa. Not that this would be the best, of course. I think this is basically the best that you can get on a sword. Or maybe instead of Vicious you can get Attunement. But this was like a champion sword, so technically it's from the PvP track for free. So I didn't really invest into crafting a sword, but if I go to craft one, probably I will go with Attunement instead of Vicious. And then I will keep the backstab plus the plague crits. And it's gonna be a pretty decent one. Okay, let's see. Do we... Oh, there we go. We have Woe. Should we go Woe, guys? Let's go Woe. But I first need to like leave some of the trash that I have in me. I'm almost overcumbered. I just have 40 kilograms free. Probably it's a good idea to put some stuff. I hope that they won't start before me joining, but let's see. The Sword of the Champion. Purifying crits is not good. I mean, you technically have the same sword, but like with different perk. But Purifying crits is just not that good. I was also, at some point I was considering testing it. Like to see if it's actually worth it to run with it. But it's not even close, unfortunately. And this is something that they also don't really pay attention to. Like there are so many perks that are technically... They are just not usable. Like nobody will use those perks. They are just trash. Like why would anyone use Purifying crits instead of Attunement, for example? Or instead of Penetrating backstab? Like there is just no logic. Like if I go on a war, which is the main PvP content, or let's say the best PvP content. Oh, by the way, where's the game? There it is. You have the option to buy Cleansing Potions. Cleansing Potions not only remove all of the effects on you, like all the debuffs on you, but they also reduce the durability of incoming buffs for a couple of seconds afterwards. So if I'm running Purifying crits, not only that it's completely useless because I can remove all the effects from the Cleansing Potion, but it also only procs for one debuff, and at the same time it's only after a critical hit. So there is so many additional things that have to happen with it. You see, like it's just stupid. It's just not worth it, and nobody will run this, and it's just a shame, because it's nice to have like so many perks, but it's not nice for them to be completely like useless and not usable in any scenarios. Like there is no scenario in which this perk would do something. But yeah, it is what it is. And we have the bug with the doors. This is actually a funny one. Like you see through the door, but you cannot walk. Then you use like your Ace of Staff to open the door, and suddenly the door visually closes, but then you can walk through it. Pretty interesting ones. I'm pretty sure that the new players might get surprised with those kind of like visual bugs. It's gonna be like wild. I really cannot wait to see the first reactions from the console players. Like this would be an interesting one for sure. I'll be like, oh, why I do this? Why I do that? Why my character is flying? I'm playing here PvP and I ended up in the sky. What happened? Like why? And then you're like, oh bro, did you click like left mouse button with your Q ability and then you tried to jump and then you had to prone afterwards? Did you click that in the same like order? It's like, yeah, I don't know what I did. Like I'm playing on a joystick, I did something. It's like, oh okay, well, unlucky. Get better, get good. Get good, bro. Where's the raid, man? I think I catch up to them. Oh, there it is. Get in, get in. Nice. Good. I have all named items from PvP track, so for sure I have some items what I can use for the build. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's one of the things that people don't really understand sometimes, is that they kinda opt to have the best build possible. And they tend to believe like what they see, and they don't really try it for themselves. Like if you see a super nice cool looking build that does a lot of damage and you just watch the short video of kill compilation in YouTube, first of all you have to have in mind that this build probably is good, but the compilation itself is just the best. Like the best kills, the best fights and so on. Like nobody will put in his compilation how he dies from someone. Like that's for sure. And second of all, even if you are sure that the build will be a banger, it's always better to just use random items, like 2 perkers, or let's say the 3rd perk will not be ideal. Let's imagine that attunement would be the best 3rd perk, but instead you have, I don't know, King, for example. So you can use such item just to see how the build feels, and then you can tell, oh, actually, it's pretty good. Maybe if I make it perfect, it will actually be a really big change and it will be amazing. And this is how I at least approach the builds. In one moment, in 2 weeks, I farmed 330 chests, OPR, play full AoE healer with VG, solo and have fun. Yeah, OPRs are pretty easy. I mean, for AoE especially, either that be a healer or a mage it's just brain dead. I'm playing the same thing, so it's... you must try it for yourself, if it's okay for you or not. Yeah, that's true as well. Like, some builds for me are just not good. I mean, it's not like the build is not good, it's just, for me it's not good. I don't really see myself playing it, so I just avoid playing it. When I play 3 classes in mutations, I have a lot of items with really good perks. Yeah, that's... Actually, this is one of the cool things. But the problem comes... like when you already have your builds, right? Like when you already have the best gear possible for those 3 classes that you're mentioning, you cannot sell the other items because 90% of what you get from the dungeon is bind on you. And when it's bind on you, it's just like not worth it. Like, okay, it's perfect item, it's really good item, but I have better one or I have the same. It's just not for me, like I don't need it. you know? And this is, I think, the thing that they did wrong. Like, this basically killed the incentive for players to go and farm. I remember, like, people were speed running just so they can get better items and to sell them on the market quicker. Now people don't even compete anymore. Like, nobody is doing M3s. Like, why would I go in an M3? Like you said, you need a group with perfect coordination, with perfect gear, so you don't spend 2 hours and a half inside the dungeon. And all that for what? For 3 bind on pickup items and 1 tradable, which is not even good. Like, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the time. And it's also not something like new and challenging that you might say, oh, but wait, like, at least it's like a challenge for me. It was actually hard, so I had to try hard. No, it's not. Actually, I think I don't have Sin as well. I'm not really farming those elite chest runs, and I don't have the artifacts from them. I think Sin was dropping from here, right? I still don't have this hatchet as well. Maybe I should start to farm those. Scorpio and Sin. Okay. Good. I think we did the full run. Like, I don't really go for the other chests. Maybe I can go for the ones down in the very first floor, but that's it. Healer for DPS, harvesting. What is harvesting damage? Ah, you mean harvesting gear, okay. Damage, anti-heal, rends. It's like one class have 5 different modes. Yeah, I mean, you kinda can go like differently, but at the same time not so much. Like, for example, I can always give examples with Fire Staff. Like, Fire Staff, and I also get like a lot of questions. Am I still playing, for example, with Featherweight? Oh bro, I see you are playing with Nature's Wrath. Like, you said that Featherweight is super good. Why you are playing Nature's Wrath now? The thing is, each class doesn't matter, like the weapon combination, but the class itself, right? Like, for example, Mage with Fire Staff and Ice Gauntlet. You technically have few different roles. The first one is to be a Dex Mage. This means that you are playing with 2 or 3 melees. You are playing on the side of the point. I'm giving an example for a war. So you are playing on the side of the point and you are watching into a either 5v5 or a 10v10 fight. So in those cases you want to have like more protection, you want to have more defense, you want to have Featherweight. If you don't have it, you might be in a big trouble. So of course then you're gonna play Featherweight. Then you have the other option, again, Fire Staff with Ice Gauntlet, but this time you are a DPS and you are free to do just damage. So then you just do damage. And then you can go with Nature's Wrath because you're gonna do more damage. It's super simple. And then you have a third build, which is also like kind of a DPS, but it's more focused into a duo or a trio where you are chasing targets and you want to kill singular targets, mostly healers. So then you would not play, for example, with Meteor like I play now, but you would play with Burnout, and you're gonna have either Featherweight, either Nature's Wrath, depending on how good you are. So one single combination of weapons can end up with like completely different variation of builds. But yeah, for all of them you kinda need different gear. Imagine playing Nature Mutation plus Berserk. It's like build 1 Flourish Rapier, not 2 in a party. What does the Nature Mutation make with Berserk? Like, what exactly is the reference here? I don't really understand it.
I see the light.
Because you would not be able to like kill them fast enough, or what? What exactly is the thing with the Berserk? Can I kill a small portal somewhere? Oh my god, they're only big ones. Or they're too far away. Ah, you mean that there is no anti-heal? Yeah, they heal more indeed. Yeah, but that's why you have like For example, one person can take Biobomb, or healer should always have like Plague, not Plague crits, but what was the name of the perk again? Putrefying Scream. The Scream that applies disease, and so on. If the party is really coordinated, you don't need more than this. Like one person with Biobomb, one Scream, and everything is fine. Because you clump all of the mobs together, you use the Scream on all of them. If they don't die quick enough, you can then use the Biobomb. And then the person who is using the Biobomb can replenish it again. And then in the meanwhile you also have a second Scream and so on. So it can like rotate. And the healing effect is only applied on the small mobs. So for bosses you don't really need that as well. So you can change the runes. Like at least, like I said, I was playing PvE 4 seasons ago. And with the delayed like content, because they delayed some seasons, like this season for example had to end 1 month ago. With the delayed content, probably it's like equal to 6 seasons or something like this. So it was really long time ago, but in general I think the idea of like the content and the way how the game feels and how it plays in PvE, I think it's still the same. Like the combination between the different classes and people, like for example a tank with a sword and shield, and then you can choose as a secondary. It could be a hammer, it could be, I don't know, like anything else basically. But sword and shield I believe is just the best because it gives leadership and it gives like a lot of potential for tanking. Then you have a DPS with spear and great axe. Then you have a healer with life staff and void gauntlet. You have one DPS as a rapier. And then you decide, you either go for a second rapier or you go with the second guy who is playing maybe a great axe, not great axe, but great sword with spear, something like this. It really depends on the... Technically you have one flex person, let's say it like this. Like you have 4 really fixed and strict roles, and then you have one kinda like flexible one. That hurts when some people after 3 years are not prepared for M3. I mean, I cannot really blame them, to be fair. Like some people just don't see the PvE in the same way. Like they don't really try hard, let's say. They assume that it's technically it's fine. Like even if you go in a dungeon and finish it in 1 hour and 30 minutes, it's still fine. The problem is that for the people that run this dungeon, let's say 500 times, and they did many speed runs or score runs or in general fast good runs, for them it's like stupid to go and spend so much time wiping and having difficulties when you can just, like you said, set up the correct gear. That's the problem. Like it's not the problem of the players that don't have the correct gear, it's just that the system is like this, and yeah. 2 spear with the sweep and skewer, it's insane, plus CC hammer. Some mobs can't stand up. I mean, if you have a good tank, you don't really need the mobs to stand up. As long as they are not facing you, it's all good. There are trolls who want to make M3 and they have 0 experience how to make it, and they die so easily. Well, yeah, but that's their problem. I mean, it's like, don't think that this is only in PvE, by the way. Like in PvP, it's kind of the same thing. Like I can give you the best example by saying this. Like there are companies, right? And I don't blame the players, don't get me wrong. There are companies that have, let's say, 50 people, because this is how much you need for a PvP, right? Like for a war. They have 50 people and they think that they are good enough to go on a war, which is completely fine. It's part of the game, it's part of the content, and you should, if you can, go to a war so you can feel and, you know, have fun in it. But the problem is that sometimes they overestimate their capabilities and skill level. And when they go on a war against a way better opponent, or they, in like you said, they don't know what they're doing, like they don't have experience and they don't know how to play, they are literally going on a massacre. Like they will just exit the war camp, die, and then they will be brought back to the war camp for the full duration of the war, the so-called war camp. So this is the exact same, like the same thing as you are saying, like people going in M3 without experience and dying. This is the exact same thing, but in PvP. People going on a war without experience and just dying. So they will eventually never complete the war, as the people will never complete the dungeon. That's happened, they face with WoW. Yeah, that's kind of exactly the same. Yeah, facing the WoW. So, and for many people, this is like super, how to say, it's super frustrating that they get destroyed in a war scenario like this, or in a OPR even, yeah. And the only way is to go around it. But the problem is, in PvP you cannot go around it. Like, there is no option for you to learn PvP somehow, unless you put like too much time into it, or like to sit down to actually watch, to learn and so on. While in PvE it's possible, because in PvE you can go, you can lower the dungeon, you can go from M3 to M2 to M1 to even normal dungeon, and then you can be like, okay, let's learn the mechanics. Let's go with like M1 for example. Let's not do that much damage, let's just look at the mechanics, let's learn them, let's try to be better, let's see the attack patterns and try to not get hit. In PvP you cannot get that. If somebody beats your ass, tomorrow you have to face him again and he will beat your ass again. So at some point you need to either learn, either just decide to drop. And that's a problem. That's a problem because a lot of people, you know, like I said, they just got too many times destroyed and they just decided to quit. Because there is no other option. I'm so happy if AGS starts to balance in OPR. Some 40% of the people leave game because they start OPRs and they get frustrated because pre-made party top PvP farm the low XP in PvP. The low XP players in PvP. Yeah, I mean, but again, it's not the problem of the players. That's what I'm trying to explain. Like, the problem is the system itself. The system is not built correctly. And I've said it like a million times. Before making any PvP, you need to make a ranking system. Like, if you look at any game that has a direct contact between players, it doesn't matter if it's a shooter game, it doesn't matter if it's a strategic game, it doesn't matter if it's MOBA, MMO, whatever, even chess, it has to have a ranking system. If there is no ranking system, you are technically not playing against the people that are on your level. And not only that, it's bad for the bad players, or let's call them not experienced, because they are not bad, they are just not experienced and they cannot get experience because they play with two good players against them. It's the same like me going to play football against Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. How can I get better? I will never touch the ball. Like, what am I supposed to do? I cannot even see the ball. How can I get better in football? And the same can be applied to any other sport. So if you want to get better, you need to start on your level. And if there is no system to make the different levels, it will never happen. Like, it's not like never, but only a few can make it, and they will make it with a really, really big struggle and a lot of time and effort invested into it. Like, I know people that started playing PvP straight from the zero. Like, they technically pick up the game, they never played PvP or PvE, they straight up pick the game, get interested into PvP, they don't know what they're doing, they get a coach with them in the company, they start learning and so on, and it takes them, let's say, 3 to 4 months to start actually playing a proper style of PvP. But this is a lot of work. Like it's like going to work, quite literally going to work. It's just insane. And not everyone is ready for that, because after all, this is a game. People want to like log in the evening, have fun for like 2, 3, 5 hours, whatever time you have, and then just leave. This is not my work. I don't want to go and work for like 5 hours to learn how to play a fucking game, you know? But that's the system. That's the problem. This is actually, in my opinion, this is one of the big problems in New World, and I said that really a million times. Let me just put the lights on my room because it's kind of dark. If you have a good teacher who helps you, it's a lot easier. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, nobody wants to spend that much time. If you look at from the other perspective, like let's say that you are on the other side. Let's say that you are already a player who knows how the system works, know how the PvP works, and you can teach new players. Just imagine it like this. But then you have to spend, like let's say you are back from work, you had like a rough day or whatever, you want to relax, you want to just listen some music, chill, do something, you know? And then you have to spend an hour or even 2 with someone who is just picking up the game. So you need to explain like super basic things. You need to explain why and how on each and every corner of the game, like in each situation. Because in PvP, most of the companies, if not all of them, like actually all of them, the serious ones of course, they are watching VODs. Like they're watching recording of wars and different fights, and they are going over each and every scenario, and they are explaining, okay, here, why are you doing this? Like for example, here it's a better option to do this and this and this. Of course, with the time, you kind of reduce the different situations, because most of them you know by heart what to do, and it's already done during the recording. Like you don't do those mistakes. But if it's someone new, you would probably put the pause button each 20 to 30 seconds, and you would have to explain to him, like, here you are walking in the wrong direction, look, where is your party, why are you not here, why are you doing this, why are you doing that? And all that information is so much time, it's so much effort. Why would someone do this? You see, like there is no point. And this is what I'm trying to say. It requires so much like investment and so much work from both sides, from the receiving side as a player who is new to the game, and from the other side of someone who is, let's say, the teacher, who already put his work into the game but now has to transfer this knowledge and experience to someone who doesn't know. So you need 2 people to basically spend extremely long time and work and effort to, you know, build each other up, while you can just add a system with ranking system, and then people are basically better off because they would play with people on their same level. And when you play with someone on your same level, you do mistakes, but they do mistakes as well, you know? So you can capitalize on their mistakes, they will do vice versa, and so on. Once you see the mistakes on the people of your level, you start to realize what are your mistakes as well, you know? And eventually, if you are, let's say, smarter, you're gonna reduce the amount of mistakes that you're doing so you can win your opponent. But when you do this, when you win your opponent, you are gaining your rank, like you are gaining a little bit higher elo, let's say, and you will be facing a stronger opponent. So now the stronger opponent, not only that he doesn't do your mistakes from before, but he's also doing less mistakes in general. And you are the one doing more mistakes now, so you're gonna start losing again. But then, again, if you are smart, you would start looking into those things and you will again progressively get better. And this is the way of like getting better. This is the process of getting better. It's like learning and experiencing again and again and again and again. But if you just go and straight up play against the best players and you just get destroyed, there is no way to learn. Like, what you gonna learn? From who? How? It's just not possible. Because they instantly destroy you. Like, you don't have the time to learn. And this is just how it is. Unfortunately. Alright. Need to check something. Oh. My first 3v3 in months. Oh, maybe I can go in a 3v3. Can I actually go in a 3v3? Let's see if we're gonna catch an arena. If people are saying first 3v3 in months, probably there is someone playing 3v3. I can send this long message. Did you write an essay or what? I don't know if there is a limit. Probably there is though. I don't know how long is the limit. I think in one of the platforms it was like 140 characters or something like this. But don't worry though, I mean you can kind of spam. I mean not really spam, but like you can send it in different portions. You don't need to send like one big message that is like 5 lines. I remember people group, they play only maximum M1 and say, guys, I will help you show my stream, I help with gear and so on. After that we go M1, after M2, after M3 and so on. And I ask, we go M1 and they're... Wait, what? So you're basically teaching them how to make like M1, M2 and so on, and then when you ask them, they want to go in M2. They see more legendary drops, higher gear score, and they want to play M2, never M1. But that's happened like after New Year. Yeah, I mean that's the incentive, right? Like that's the goal of everything. Like any content should be like this. Any content should push you to go more, you know, like that's the idea of the game. Like the best idea for a game developer is to make people play their game as long as possible. And if you want to make your people to play as long as possible, you have to give them things so they can be happy to progress further and further. If they feel stuck, and this is what I'm trying to say, that here we are kind of stuck because there is no new things, like you literally get everything super easily and kind of free, then there is nothing to do. Like why would I go, for example, now in arena? What I'm gonna get in this arena? Like tell me. Nothing. I will get a box. This box will be like something blue and I will salvage it. So that's the thing. There is no incentive to it. It's not interesting. They have problems to survive. I told them to play with Cyclone. I mean, if they have problems with survivability, especially in PvE, I think the best is to kind of see where you are standing. Like a lot of times people die in PvE because of their positioning. If you know where to position, and if the tank is good, because this also like it's really important. If the tank is good, he can basically kind of win the dungeon for you. Like he can always position the mobs in a place where you actually have to throw yourself in front of them to, you know, to fail, but not every tank is capable of doing it. Like some tanks are a bit random. They are losing aggro, for example, or they do something else and so on. But if the tank is good and the DPS is smart enough and he just stays behind the mobs, everything is fine. Sometimes, of course, there is AoE abilities and things that can kill you, but for this, I think it's more on the person itself. It's not the tank's fault or the healer's fault. I laugh when I play M2 Genesis and I play tank. Why? What happened? Actually, the soldiers are pretty scary there. They are a bit scary. Like the tank cannot really help you because they have a lot of AoE attacks. But people have to know about the attacks, otherwise they just get hit. I say just max stack and they screamed what? Ah, you mean on Lazarus, not Genesis. Yeah, on Scylla with... how much was the max? 25? I think it was 25, right? Yeah, the Lazarus first big boss. It's the third or fourth named one, but yeah. Yeah, 25. Yeah, I mean, like I'm telling you, it's pretty normal. Like if you know what you are doing, and especially this is not even M3, so it's pretty normal. But for people who never did that, of course it's gonna sound like, ooh, what is this? This guy is Superman. Like for example, I can give you example which is super old, of course. I don't know if you know the player. It's called Extarsia. This, in my opinion, is probably the best tank in terms of PvE. He's probably not playing the game for quite some time now. But in Season 1, they were pushing like world records for speedruns. The guy was running 65 Constitution light gear in all of the dungeons as a tank. So it was just wild, you know, like you cannot imagine. Like the guy was doing more damage than some of the DPSs, and at the same time he was tanking. He never drops aggro, he aggroes everything, he survives everything, but it's just about his understanding of when to block, when to receive damage, and when to dodge. Because you will see a lot of players, for example, getting a huge clump of mobs and then they block and they lose their stamina. Just for example. He would gather those mobs and then he would use like crowd control abilities before they hit him. Then when they try to hit him, he will dodge. Then he will like circle around, stuff like this, just so he doesn't get hit. Just so he can, you know, remain with this health. Most of the tanks, they would go with heavy gear. They would just block and don't move. And what are you doing? Like literally nothing. So it's really different. Just different. For sure, compare with good healer. This is the same, yeah. The healers are kind of the same. Good healers can do magic tricks. Bad healers throw super random heals and stuff. They don't even deal damage. It's just different. Like, I think it's in any aspect of the game, you can easily see a difference between a good and a bad player. It's again, it's not a bad player. When I say bad player, I don't mean it with, you know, with offense to the people, but like to the people that don't have enough experience. This is what I mean by bad player. People who didn't play enough or they didn't really invest that much time to get better at something. Either that be PvP or PvE. Most people play tank, they don't know how to move and how to play for the party. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like there is also specific ways how you can like stay on the sacred, so you can give enough space for your DPS to stay also on the sacred. Because if you stay in the middle of the sacred, you are technically taking the whole space. If you are staying on the edge of it and the mob is staying in the middle of the sacred, this means that on the other edge, let's say on the other side, your DPS can be safely staying and hitting the mob in the back, so they don't receive any damage. But those things are just small details. AoE is best for me. I don't know what is meta now. I really don't know. I think AoE was always the meta, but like I said, I never played healer. I really don't know what people prefer to play, so I basically played only damage. I played a little bit tank, but just a little bit. Like it was super short. Alright, I think I will cut it off, guys. To be fair, tonight a bit short because there is literally nothing happening. Like, I'm trying to get into arena, almost 10 minutes queue, there is nothing. I really don't want to go in an OPR because it's boring. Most likely it's gonna be a one-sided fiesta and I would just spam AoE abilities. It's just not interesting. We did few PvE runs, which was actually fine. I'm pretty happy with it, to be fair. I didn't do PvE run for quite some time. We even did like 2 Ziggurat arenas, which is also something that I didn't do for quite some time. But yeah, there is no invasions, there is no wars for tonight. There is literally nothing happening on the map. It's a quite chill evening. Tonight there is nothing, but tomorrow there will or should be something. But looking at this doesn't really feel like it because nobody decide to. Yeah, nobody will declare war on Everfall, which is unfortunate. This means that we will not have a war. There is 2 other races. One is in Brimstone, the other is in Edengrove. I really hope that at least one of the 2 will end up in a, in an actual war, and maybe we can either be a part of it or merc for one of the sides and so on, but we'll see. But yeah, anyways. Some party heal claps good for Inyat last boss, for example, when the people close the pillars. Yeah, true. Alright guys, I think that's it. Tomorrow we'll make another stream. Probably I will be playing again New World, because like I said, I made, I think, three different endings in Elden Ring, so I'm kinda chilling at the moment. Maybe we can try some other games, but I'm not really sure. Maybe I can play a little bit Trackmania, actually. I didn't play Trackmania for quite some time, and I think that there is like a new season with 25 interesting maps, but we'll see. If you don't know what Trackmania is, it's like a car game. Actually pretty interesting one, but we'll see. I still didn't decide what we're gonna do. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course have a nice evening. And as always, make sure to follow the channel, join the Discord community where we can discuss some things, especially when the new patch will probably revive the game, or at least we hope so. And yeah, that's it. See you guys. Have a nice one.